Ready?
All right. 3, 2. Welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 203, recorded on November 1st, 2018. On tonight's episode, on the eve of the final Smash Direct, we are going to share so much information about Smash Brothers with you. You'll think the game is already out, but guess what? It's not. Also, we're going to talk about investor briefings and numbers about the Switch and where Nintendo is financially and so much more. Jesse, cue that sweet, sweet music. Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to the Nintendo Dads podcast. Joining me tonight for episode 203 are two of the finest gentlemen that this good, blessed earth has ever produced. First off, Mr. Jesse Waldack, repping, may I say, his Voltendo Dad shirt straight from tiny.cc/Nintendo Dad store. You can get yours there as well. Jesse, how are you, man?
With a matching phone case.
Yeah, you can get the matching phone case. You can get the bedspread. You can get the underwear.
I didn't go with those.
You didn't get the underwear? I don't think we have underwear.
I don't think we have underwear.
Is that something people would want?
Probably not, but I've heard people want like leggings, like pajama pants type of thing. Maybe
Nintendo Dad's pajama pants.
Someone had said that.
Okay.
Maybe.
But,
maybe really, it was in my head. I don't.
Yeah, it may have been. Maybe you were wanting the pajama pants or the leggings.
I don't wear pants at bed.
How are you, man?
Good. It's just work has been killer again. Was literally on another of those. Started the call at 8:30 and didn't hang up till 6 because of like 3 different production issues going on just before our system freeze. And
oh boy,
starting next week, we're not allowed to touch the system. It's what's there is there, and it needs to run stable, so it's there for a peak season.
It is what it is, right?
It is.
Speaking of it is being what it is, tonight we are proud and we are excited to welcome Nintendo Dad's community manager, Tim Off, to the show. Timothy, how are you, brother?
I am awesome. I'm excited. I'm everything, just being here.
One of the best hats I've ever seen.
I'm excited. Yeah, he's wearing for those of you who can't see this, he's wearing a Transformers flat bill hat. Half of it is the Autobot symbol on a blue background. The other half is a Decepticon symbol on a gray background. And you asked me how I am. I'm extremely jealous. Extremely jealous. Guys, for those of you who don't know Tim handles a lot of back-end things. He handles a lot of social media for us. He is extremely, extremely active on our Discord and has begun picking up some other things for us. And we're extremely happy for him to be part of the Nintendo Dads team. And we're glad you're on the show tonight, man.
Happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Awesome. Well, with that being said.
Guess what?
What?
We have no Euro boys.
No Euro boys. Hey, you know what? We're all Amero boys tonight. Now, come on, we got to have a better name than Amero Boys.
The good old boys.
The good old boys. There
we already got an Uncle Jesse.
Yeah,
Uncle Jesse and the good old boys. Sounds like a country band. Speaking of country bands,
sounds
Jesse,
like a show title.
Yes, that does. It does. Fire up that music and let's get right into our news, shall we? Folks, our news tonight is brought to us by you, the good folks over at patreon.com who keep the lights on for us by going to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads and becoming a patron. From as little as $1 a month, you can change the world and do things like shape the show, interact with us over at Discord, and even revive Retro Rewind into what it will be when we finally are able to get around to having that come back. Guys, we're working on that content right now, and we're also working on something else. You know what this weekend is? Well, it's actually next weekend for us. Actually, it's both weekends coming up in just a couple of days. It's Extra Life. Extra Life 2018 kicks off actually today. as you're hearing this, November 3rd, or actually November 3rd, November 4th. You'll be listening to this on November 2nd, maybe. We are actually doing both weekends, November 3rd and 4th. I will be hosting an official stream on our YouTube channel on the 8th and 9th of November. And you can go over right now to extra-life.org and search for Nintendo Dads and donate to any one of our team members and help us reach our goal. Guys, can I tell you what I'm excited about? We're a fourth of the way to our goal already. We have already raised a grand total of $553. And at $1,000, we have a special treat for each and every one of our friends and fans that we are calling Justin Dance 2019. If we make it to the $1,000 goal, Justin is going to record a 3-song set from Just Dance 2019 that includes not only him dancing, but him singing as well. So it'll be the vocal debut of one half of the Euro Boys, as well as his dancing debut. Last year, you saw him take his shirt off for $300.
Do we have to pay more to make him stop?
Yeah, it's $2,000 to make him stop dancing. That's the goal that we're trying to reach. Last year, this man took his shirt off for $300. Who knows what he'll do for $1,000?
And I still have an animated GIF of that.
That's right. It's a GIF, by the way. But anyway,
it's an image in our Discord too.
Yeah, it is. And so here's the thing. What we want you to do as you hear this is we want you to go over to Twitter and we want you to put in @NintendoDads and we want you to tell us what song from Just Dance 2019 that you want to see Justin dance to. And we want you to use the hashtag JustinDance2019. All right? So go over to Twitter, use the hashtag JustinDance2019. Hit us with those song recommendations. Personally, I know it was in 2018, I think. I don't know if it's in 2019. I'm looking for Naughty Girl with Rabid Peach. So, yeah, I think that one fits him to a T. So if you want to do that, but guys, seriously, check out all the things that we've got. Tim's doing some Extra Life stuff. Nicholas Metzger's doing some Extra Life stuff with his youth group. There's some other guys on our team that now I feel embarrassed because I don't have that pulled up. And I'm just going there right now. So I'm just going to keep talking until it comes up. Right? And
while you're pulling that up, just to...
Yeah, tell us about what you're doing.
Sure. So mine's more on the fly. I don't have anything scheduled, but it's basically I'm making it up as I go along. But hopefully, I will be able to at some point start something on the Nintendo Dads Twitch channel and go for 24 hours from that point on. And actually, this weekend, if all goes well, I'll be attending a Japanese pop culture conference called Yumicon. And I'll be on a Nintendo panel there at around midnight. So I'm hoping to incorporate that into the Extra Life as well. So
awesome.
Konnichiwa.
Well, and let's give a big shout out to our current leading team member, Tim Regis Jr., who has raised $170 with 5 donations. Nick is right behind him with $150 raised with 2 donations. Then me at 100, Tim at 83, and the Nintendo Dads crew, team captain at 75. Guys, we're now up to $578. That total is rising even as we podcast tonight. And let me mention this too before we move on to our news, and this will be the last we talk about Extra Life. Next week, this show will be recorded live during our main Extra Life broadcast. And so any donations that come in through that, last year, again, Justin took his shirt off live on the podcast. Who knows what will happen next week? We might try to line up some special guests. We might try to have some crazy, wacky stuff going on. We want to reach this goal, not so we can pat ourselves on the back and say, woo, good job, Nintendo Dads. We want to reach this goal because we believe in Extra Life and we believe in helping sick kids. And so make your donations today. Everybody, we announced this week via our Patreon, but we're going to announce it here too. Everyone who donates gets entered in a drawing to win a free game. Even if you donate $1, one person who donates will get their name drawn out of all those names, and they will win a free game of their choice. Do you want Smash? You want Let's Go Pikachu? You want a game that's coming out later like Animal Crossing or Yoshi's Crafted World? We'll even make you an IOU, and we'll get you that game when it comes out. But also for a $5 donation and up to a $5 donation, you get added into something to win a $20 eShop card. For a $5 above a $5 donation, it's a $50 eShop card. And if you donate $50 or more, you also get in a drawing to win a PowerA enhanced wireless controller for the Switch and some Nintendo Dad swag as well. And so, guys, make your donations. Go ahead and get those in. Even as we're talking right now, we need you to get us to $2,000. Let's move on from here and let's dive into the news. All right? So Nintendo published some numbers this week from their second quarter investor briefing. And we want to run over some of these pretty quickly because there's some important numbers in the midst of this. But let me lead with this one. Mario Kart Wii. Yes, we're still talking about Mario Kart Wii in 2018. Mario Kart Wii sold 40,000 units last quarter. Mario Kart Wii.
10-year-old game almost?
Yes.
Wow.
Here's what I want to do. If you're out there and you're listening to the Nintendo Dads podcast and you bought Mario Kart Wii in the last quarter, we need to hear from you. And I want you to answer a very simple 3-word or 3-letter question. Why?
I want to know how. I want to know
how.
There's 40,000 new Mario Kart Wii games out there.
Somebody found a case of these games, is bootlegging them or something. I don't like Mario Kart Wii. 40,000 units. My goodness. The Mario Kart juggernaut continues to roll on. Let's talk about some of these. Super Mario Party and Mario Tennis Aces are kind of the new kids on the block when it comes to first-party games. Both of those have already sold over 1.5 million units each, which is pretty awesome considering that Mario Tennis Aces is a dumpster fire of a game. And Super Mario Party has been out like not even half as long as that game has. Right. And it's already sold 1.5 million units.
And they had a slide that compared Aces with like the previous 3 tennis games, and Aces was just dwarfed them all. Even the 3DS one that was decent. Was that one? That one was kind of decent, if I remember right.
I know probably people are like, oh, they're already like, Mom already hates Mario Tennis. I don't. It didn't do it for me. Like it didn't achieve what I hoped it would. Okay. I still play it. I'm still getting my DLC characters from the tournament every month. But I can't really tell you the last time I picked it up and played it. We did play some of the Boo mode, like where you get the costumes and stuff. That was about it. Another, I guess, not surprising thing since it was so hyped and so well received. Octopath Traveler has sold more than 1 million units. Which for a JRPG, an almost 16-bit era style JRPG, I think is a pretty important feat in today's day and age.
I still have to play that game.
You have it though, right?
I bought it. I just haven't played it yet.
Tim, you own Octopath?
Yes. Yep.
I own it too. I need to put more than 3 hours into it. So are we all in the same boat there?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, and it's not going to get better because Pokemon and Smash are coming. Speaking of Pokemon, the Pokeball Plus for Pokemon Let's Go, pre-orders for the Pokeball Plus account for more than half of the pre-orders of the game or pre-ordered as a bundle. So I think it shows the demand for that controller is really high. I'm still amazed at how tiny it is.
Right, and I put in as a kind of a... When I was writing up these notes, I kind of put in as my comment so I wouldn't forget. The fact that it comes with a Mew is probably a factor in that.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean,
we're literally getting 4 of them. We're getting 4 copies of the game and 4 Pokeballs in this house.
The only reason that I'm getting the Pokeball Plus is because Mew. Because I have controllers. I mean, I have tons of Joy-Cons. I've got some controllers we're going to talk about later on. I don't need any more controllers. In fact, I'm probably going to give the Pokeball Plus to my son. I just want the Mew first. I get it because I'm dad.
Yeah, I also have got pre-ordered the like a charging stand for the Plus. I plan on doing
that too.
I plan on doing an unboxing and demonstration of everything once they all come in.
Yeah, that'll be cool. It's going to be a lot of fun accessories that come out with this game, I bet. Not surprisingly, Nintendo also announced that Fortnite is installed on almost half of the Nintendo Switch systems that have been sold worldwide. And I think this would be a good time to talk about sales figures for the Switch. As of this investor briefing, the Switch has outsold lifetime GameCube sales. And in just a little under 2 years, the Switch has now outsold the GameCube, which means that it says at this rate, compared to where they were at the end of March 2018, they have sold almost 22 million units, or just over 22 million units. But if you'll remember, their goal for 2018 was to sell 20 million units, right?
Right.
So break that down for us, Jesse. Tell us what. Do some Uncle Jesse math there.
So, but at the end of the fiscal year, they sold almost 18 million units. So, in order to get 20 more, you need to get to 38 million. They're only at 23 million, so they only sold 5 million in the last 6 months. They'll meet the goal. They need to sell 15 million in the next 6 months. So it's 3/4 of the goal in half the time. That's going to be rough.
Pokemon,
Smash and Pokemon are going to help. I don't
Smash are coming.
I don't know if it'll triple the sales in the last 6 months. But
do you think? But
we'll see.
Okay, so let's talk doable numbers. What do you think we're going to see?
I think they can probably do at least 8 more. Because I think a lot of people at this time, if they wanted the Switch, has already got it. There's not in order to get past like the GameCube numbers, they really need to get more into the casual market, and more of the youth market with the Pokemon, and trusting a youth with the Switch is a high level of trust.
Yes,
not a lot of families have, and rightfully so. Each family is different. I'm not here to judge.
So let me ask you this. Do you think that the amount of bundles that we're seeing Nintendo produce, and presently, if you think about it, we've got the regular Switch with no game. You can now also get the Fortnite bundle. You can get the Walmart exclusive 1-2 Switch and Mario Tennis Aces bundle. Tomorrow, the Diablo 3 bundle drops. Very soon after that, the Smash bundle drops. Very soon around that time, the Pokemon Let's Go bundle drops. And Target is now advertising its own exclusive bundle for Black Friday, which includes a pre-installed copy of Mario Kart 8. So I'm counting 7 different bundle combinations for this holiday season.
I think the bundles will sell. The big question is how many of those bundles will be around during Black Friday when most of the shoppers are out.
True.
Whether that, as I said, the more casual market will have a chance at getting them, or will they all be gone before then? Because I think they'll be more likely to lean toward a bundle. It may not be a better deal, but it looks like a better deal just because it comes with the game, where the vanilla Switch doesn't.
Right.
So
even though if you listen to, I think it was last week's episode or the episode before that, we did the math. And bundles aren't really saving you all that much.
No, they're probably, in most cases, they're not saving you anything.
They're not.
It's just
the convenience factor.
Right. So, a lot of people, don't, especially if they're, out like Black Friday shopping, they're not going to stop and do the math. They're going to say, "Ooh, a bundle, I want it."
Yeah, it comes with a game. What a deal!
Right.
But here's the thing. I think the bundle strategy is to bump this number up.
I don't know how many bundles they're planning on producing, but if they
Right.
make 5 million Switches in a bundle, they'll sell.
I really believe that we're going to see Nintendo do 10. We're going to see them do 10 million. I don't know that they'll get to that 20, but I think they'll get 10 million more.
You're talking about 10 million more in addition to the 5 they already did, so 15 total?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was leaning toward 10, but I'm like, I better cut it back a little bit. But yeah, I'm surprised. I'm sorry. I think Gary's
you're fine.
woken up.
Yeah, Gary is awake and he's going to be joining us here in a minute. But I really do, like you said, 8 million, and I think I can meet at a happy medium and say they'll do between 8 and 10 million more. I really think. I know you said that you think a lot of people who have a Switch already has them, but I think there's a large subset of people who have been waiting on Smash.
I do know people who have been waiting on Smash.
And so they're going to jump in, and they're going to, and let's just say this too, because this came out of some news this week that Nintendo has now reported that there are over 1,300 games for Nintendo Switch as of this quarter, the end of this quarter. So they're going to be able to jump in with Smash and the ability to go find 1,300 games in an incredibly crowded and confusing eShop.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that's Gary.
Hey.
There he is,
Hey,
the
Gary.
man of the hour.
Good morning.
Hey. Guess
Hour of
what?
power.
Something happened.
What happens?
The clocks went back in England.
Oh.
Oh, no.
That happens over here on Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah. So for this week and this week only, it would have been an hour earlier. Except
It would have, but that's okay.
Except I didn't realise that you guys changed next week. So
No worries, man. No worries. We are talking about Nintendo Switch numbers for this week, and we had just cut through some of those things and are running down the rest of them. Let's move on and let's talk about some app news that they dropped during this investor briefing. Mario Kart Tour, which is the app version of Mario Kart mentioned by Nintendo earlier, it's still on track for a March 2019 release. That's about all they said about it. They did, however, mention Animal Crossing Pocket Camp and mentioned that it will be getting an update with more info on that update being announced closer to release. This could be the possible Switch integration. Also this week, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp has received an update that's changed the app icon, and the app is now celebrating its 1-year anniversary. And you can go over there and get some sweet items and different interaction there. And there's also, what event is it that's going on right now? I know it's not the Splatoon event, it's the Pokemon event, right? You can get the Eevee
have
suit.
no idea, actually.
I think that ended because they're now doing. They're focusing on the 1 year. I just went in today.
Cappy, right?
Yes, you get Cappy free. They're now doing the 1 year thing where you get leaves every day, and then I think they're selling cookies too or something like that.
Yeah, the Cookie Cafe or Cafe Cookies. You know what's funny is that that Pokemon thing didn't last long at all. You
Yeah, it
would
was
think
very
they would
quick.
have carried that a little bit more. If they really wanted to do something, they would promote Diablo in Animal Crossing Pocket
I would
Camp.
play that every day.
I
if they
think
did
your
that.
audience is kind of. They don't have a lot of overlap there.
I'm guessing they'll do
sure
the
they do.
Pokemon thing again because they didn't do Pikachu, did they? It was just Eevee,
It was just
right?
Eevee. So yeah, they may do another one, getting closer
especially
to that.
around the launch, right?
I'm gonna dip into this next thing here, and we could talk about this a little bit if you want to. I really don't think we need to because everybody knows these things are pretty much just a shovel for the dirt that needs to go on top of itself. Nintendo did mention that Nintendo 3DS will continue support into 2019.
Yeah, didn't you see everybody's response to our post about that?
Yeah,
A lot of people are supporting that.
a lot of people are supporting that. Too bad they're not going to have anything but remastered games and ports to play because Nintendo's not releasing new IP or new games on that. Sorry. It's
Yeah,
not.
Yeah, they're
it does
probably not going to
happen.
be releasing a lot more than they've already announced, but there's still a huge back catalog, and new people are entering the gaming world for the first time. You know, the younger, newer generation.
At this point, it's just a system for kids.
it is, but
You know,
I think that's what it's
a
meant for.
it's a good system for a kid to start with.
it is a good system for kids. I did notice that, speaking of, if you're looking to get into that, and you're listening and you don't have a 3DS or 2DS yet, Nintendo is offering the doorstop model of the 2DS. That's what I call it. The wedge shape, tablet.
I've used the same term before.
They're offering a brand new version of that. They're going to offer the Super Mario Maker bundle at Target on Black Friday that includes a copy of the game and a yellow and red 2DS.
I like the idea, but I just don't know about keep doing the wedge.
Yeah, I really feel like this should have been a 2DS XL.
Well, again, 2DS wedge is best for the younger kids.
It really is. I mean, this is
less moving parts.
This is a super younger kid version, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Remember this model launched when Pokemon X and Y launched.
Yeah.
So that wasn't an accident.
Got a little bit of age on it, and it's not going to be able to play those couple of games that are only for the new 3DS, and won't be able to play Super Nintendo Virtual Console either.
The people who buy these now aren't even e-shopping it, so I wouldn't.
Yeah, probably
not. I don't think that's a big deal. They're gonna do Mario Kart and Pokemon, and that's it.
Mario, Luigi's Mansion, that kind of stuff. Nintendo reported that Switch sales have been dropping month to month from June to September, but the system still continues to sell over 0.6 million units per month, which rounds out to about 600,000 units. Evergreen titles like Mario Kart 8, Mario Odyssey, Zelda, Splatoon 2 continue to sell between 800,000 to 1.2 million units combined each month from April through September. And attach rates of those four games in January 2018 and September 2018 are close to identical. In other words, they're the same amount that were in September as they were in January, except for Odyssey. Odyssey dropped from near 60% to just over 50%, being about the same as Mario Kart in both time frames. Guys, Mario Kart 8 is an absolute juggernaut for this system. I was looking at the actual sales figures. Less than 1 million copies separate it and Mario Odyssey, and Odyssey is the highest selling title for this console.
And it's catching up.
It is catching up.
I think it'll surpass it.
I really predict over time it will be the highest selling software on this console, and that is why I fully believe that we're getting Mario Kart DLC, especially with Furukawa's announcement around this time that Nintendo is reevaluating the model by which it does DLC and looking at continuing to add value to these evergreen games, to games you already, the quote was, games you already love and have played and maybe have finished, and give you a reason to come back to those. Yeah, honestly, it would not surprise me if we saw Zelda get some more DLC.
Even if it does, I think I'm done with that game. Every time I've tried to they put a new DLC out, I try to play it. I'm like, I'm really tired of this game. I don't want to play it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Zelda's gone. I don't think there'll be any more.
You don't
DLC
think there'll be any more?
No.
Oh, he's back.
Well,
I am back.
The reason I say that is because they specifically mention those evergreen titles, right?
Yeah.
And one thing I noticed, and I don't know if you guys picked up on this, Nintendo announced the last new stage for Splatoon 2, about a month or so ago, the big 4.0 update. It would be the last new episode or the new stage. But did you notice they're taking the reef out of rotation and they're adding to it?
No, I didn't know that.
They said that they're removing the reef from rotation for the time being, and it's undergoing renovations. And they showed off plans
under construction
that show like red lines, and red boxed out areas on the reef, like they're expanding it and adding to it. So like they're going to go back and revisit some of these levels and make them different. Cool.
They did do that in Splatoon 1, didn't they?
I didn't play Splatoon 1 enough to know.
Yeah,
really.
I mean, well, one of the things that people are on about on Splatoon 1 is one of the levels. It's the I forget its name. It's the one that the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe battle levels based on.
Oh yeah.
But they removed the tree. So at the start of the level, they removed the tree, and then they added some boxes to get into a different area and stuff like that. So it is something that they've done anyway, and I think it's partly due to over exploitation on certain areas of the level. Like you'll have a tight corridor that they'll squeeze everyone into and stuff, and they correct those later on so that there's a bit more freedom.
Yeah. Yeah, just a couple of more numbers here, and we'll move on from this because I know some people don't really get into all this. But Nintendo also announced that more Nintendo Switch Online subscribers bought a 12-month plan, individual or family, versus the month-to-month plan, which is more than they anticipated. This could be because, as Jesse put in our notes, it could be that the family plan with friends grouping is part of this, and that's become a more popular option to allow your family to be able to have access to this. But it has also resulted in a lower than expected revenue for Nintendo Switch Online.
They didn't specifically mention that, but I think the reason why they mentioned that it was more 12 months than they expected versus month to month, it does result in a lower revenue because you're paying more if you go month to month. You pay $100. You pay what does it cost a month? $3, $5?
I think it's $5.99 a month. Yeah.
So $5.99. So that's $6. So if you do that for a year, you're paying almost $70. $50 more than if you just paid for the year. So yeah, if people are gonna use this, they're gonna pay for the year.
Very true. Very true. I'm going to look at
Go Family.
I'm sorry, $3.99 a month. I wanted to get it before we got an actually.
So okay, so that's a year. That's $50 a year. So $30, still more than double the price.
Yeah, absolutely. You're saving by going with that 12-month route, and they know that. But it is what it is. They also announced that over 50% of people have opted in for the Nintendo Switch Online, but the way that was said did not make it seem like a lot more than 50% have opted in. Time will tell. Look, it's going to go up when Smash comes out. Sorry, Definitely. It's going to happen. NES and SNES Classics have sold over 10 million units combined, which means that's a success, and we'll definitely see more of those. And we have already talked about the Nintendo Switch lifetime numbers. So we're going to move on from this. Guys, here's what I want to take away from this. Is it time for us to be doom and gloom about the Switch and about Nintendo? Is it time for Nintendo to publish games for other consoles?
Well, and we knew this was coming in. Year 2 had, from first party, had a weaker lineup than year 1, and that's by design because after year 1, there's no way you're going to top yourself. But they are prepared to have an exceptional year 3. So I while this isn't doom and gloom, they will reach their near 40 million eventually. I just don't think they'll do it by the end of March. No,
I don't either. And here's the thing. Look at what's coming in 2019 already. Yoshi, Animal Crossing, most likely Metroid Prime 4.
Pokemon.
They've got a new Pokemon, Mario, and I know new Super Mario Brothers U. It's still going to be new to some people, right? They probably have not played it.
Well, that's going to be a huge thing. It'll be new to a lot of people since we only sold to 13 million units.
Yeah, so that's going to go crazy. I'm sure there's going to be a couple more ports in there. There's going to be continued support through indies and third parties online. It's just year 3. Look for year 3 to be really good.
Did he mention a Fire Emblem game?
Oh yeah, Fire Emblem is in there too. So I mean, there's a lot coming up. I mean, I think you can look at this one of two ways. You can look at it doom and gloom and say, "Oh, woe is me, Nintendo's not doing good," or you can just say, every console goes through a slump period. like look at Xbox One, look at Microsoft there going through the slump period at the very beginning, and now they finally come out of that in the Xbox One, and now the Xbox One X has become a fantastic product, and they're really offering value to gamers over there, and have this wonderful partnership with Nintendo. And so don't judge the Switch by one quarter. All right. It hasn't been the strongest quarter, but Smash and Pokemon are coming. It's going to be okay.
Yeah. I think their fiscal year numbers will still be like, it won't be what they wanted, but it'll still be good.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about a couple of another little quick news items right before we dive into this absolutely gigantic Smash Direct. Capcom announced this week that Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil, and Resident Evil 4 are all coming to the Switch sometime in 2019. No, not as part.
And this isn't the streaming crap, is it?
No, it is not. These are full games. I would expect a little bit of remastering as well. Didn't Resident Evil 4 already get remastered for PS4 and Xbox? Or am I just imagining that?
It wouldn't.
No, I
surprise
believe
me.
it's pretty much on everything. Just due
So
time.
I mean, this is great, simply for the fact that the Resident Evil games are popular. There's going to be a lot of people who may or may not have played this, especially Resident Evil 0, since it was GameCube exclusive for a time back in the day. I mean, there's not really much more to say this. They're coming in 2019. It's just exciting to see Capcom really valuing the Switch and seeing the potential there and digging into its back catalog for some games that, quite honestly, lots of people are excited about. The day they announced this,
looks like 1 and 4 did get a remake or remaster.
So we'll probably get the remastered versions of those. This may be a remastered version of Resident Evil 0 2. Very cool. I don't think there's anything to complain about there. Also, gentlemen, this week, Super Mario Odyssey, the highest selling game for Nintendo Switch so far, celebrated its 1-year anniversary. Yeah. And they did that by introducing a special event in New Donk City. If you go and you play through the celebration again, which takes you through the 2D part where you defeat Donkey Kong at the end and you come out on stage with Pauline, there are 39 8-bit Captain Toads and Luigi's that you can find by ground pounding. And the first time that you do it, it will give you 200 coins per figure.
That's a lot of coins.
Yeah.
I was able to buy costumes.
Yeah, that costume that you've been wanting, that you've been saving up for, maybe it's Metal Mario, maybe it's Skeleton, maybe it's whatever, you can probably now go and afford that. You can go back in and do the game again, or do the thing again, and it only gives you about 10 coins per figure. I haven't tried this to see if it resets every day.
Neither have I. I wanted to do that, but didn't.
And so I will. We can tweet about that tomorrow, but it just says Nintendo's just simply said this is running for a limited time. I would imagine probably a week within launch. So I saw a date somewhere of November 7th, but I don't know that that's confirmed. But you can go in and farm some good coins right now if you need them in Super Mario Odyssey. Also today marks the release of Diablo 3 for Nintendo Switch from Blizzard, which is a huge thing coming to the Switch. I'm excited for this. I'm going to be picking it up. But Blizzard also announced today that the Treasure Goblin amiibo is coming exclusively to GameStop in December. They didn't give an actual set date, but Treasure Goblin amiibo is coming only to GameStop in December, and it does not come in a traditional amiibo package. It comes in a box, which leads me to believe it's probably a little bit bigger than your regular amiibo.
What's in the box?
A Treasure Goblin amiibo. That's what's in there. Which Blizzard has said that the function of the amiibo is to open a portal to untold riches. And seeing as how I've never actually played Diablo 3, I have no clue what that means. I just have to assume that it's very good, and that's why you would want one. These are up right now on GameStop.com You can pre-order them for $15.99. And they're pretty weird looking.
Did you see how it kind of got leaked before the official announcement?
They totally leaked it right before that.
Well, because it was used in screenshots or in the game as demonstrations on how to use the amiibo.
Oh, Blizzard, you'll learn. You'll learn one of these days. Yeah, they just need to rub elbows with Nintendo a little bit longer. They'll learn how to keep secrets. On a sad note, and before we move on to the Smash news, Mario Segali, who was the namesake of the beloved Super Mario character, and Nintendo's warehouse manager, and that's where they got the name, when they first started here in the States, has passed away at the age of 84. This was announced today, and so to the family and to the friends, we say we're sorry. But man, I'm glad that he gave Mario his name. Mm-hmm. It just seems like as we get older, some of the icons of gaming, they kind of get older. Iwata and others, and now like Miyamoto, bless his heart, he's kind of starting to look old, guys. Have you seen him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of like you're kind of starting to see his age, and so we'll probably be. I hate to say this, we'll probably be saying more of those sooner than later. But our thoughts and
go ahead.
No, our thoughts and prayers go out to Mario Segali's family, and just a cool little bit of Nintendo trivia there. That's where Mario got his name.
Yeah. I was going to say that every time my kids say that I'm getting old, I'm like, you're getting older too.
Yep. Speaking of getting older, some people are like, we're getting older while we're waiting for you to talk about the Smash stuff. So let's dive.
Yeah, it's only been 40 minutes. What's taking so long?
Yeah, no. Let's dive right into news about the Smash Direct, the final Smash Brothers Ultimate Direct for today. I just want to go around the horn here before we get started. Talk to each of you guys. Hopefully, you've all had the opportunity to watch the Direct, correct?
Yes,
yep.
Or at least read about it.
I finished it like 5 minutes before we started this call.
Yeah, and Jesse made...
I was taking my time with it, taking notes. So it took me like 2 hours to do this.
He made the best notes ever. Thank you, Uncle Jesse. We don't deserve you. Let's start with you, Tim, since you're technically our guest tonight on the show. Just before we dig into the nitty-gritty details of this, what did you think coming out of this Direct? What are your impressions of just the Direct itself? And I guess the appropriate question is, are you hyped for Smash?
I'm more hyped because I was already hyped before, especially with showing all the content that's there. For me, I'm not so much the multiplayer type of game player. I'm more of the single player gamer. I always get my butt beat when playing in Smash, but I have a lot of fun with it. But the content, and then before today's Direct, not knowing exactly what that one-player game was going to be, I still knew there would be something that I have fun with. So I'm looking forward to that part as well, especially after learning about that today.
Awesome. Gary, your impressions of the Direct, and are you hyped for Smash?
Snake, you can't survive in a cardboard box.
That made me laugh so hard.
Oh, a lot of that animation sequence near the end, I was laughing at.
Yeah,
like
especially
the Inklings.
Oh yeah,
I was looking for Thanos and where he snapped his finger.
Also, Wii Fit Trainer, you just do Wii Fit Trainer. You have a little yoga pose at the end of the world. That's fine. We don't need you in the next Smash. No, the Direct was. I thought it was really good. It's actually been a bit slow at work, so I managed to watch it while working. So I got paid to watch it. And
I wish I could have said the same thing. I didn't get a chance to start watching it until like 7 o'clock.
And I thought it was fantastic. I'm seeing a lot of negativity on Twitter afterwards, and I'm surprised because I'm normally the negative one, and I thought it was fine. So, how about yourself, Marty?
So, so here's the deal. Where the crap's Waluigi?
You don't need him. We've got a piranha plant. That's fine.
Oh yeah, that's
a trophy.
Fine.
We know exactly where he is.
Yeah, he's a trophy. So I put this out on Twitter after letting it sit for a little bit, and this is what I said. I said my thought on the final Smash Direct is, even though I didn't get the character that I wanted, that this looks to be an absolutely incredible piece of celebration of Nintendo as a company and their storied history, and my hype level for it is beyond huge. I cannot wait for this game to come out. There are, and I'll admit this, and we'll talk about it as we go through the notes, there are some moments of the Direct that left a bad taste in my mouth because of the elements in it. There's modes in this game that are coming that are kind of disappointing to me. Just the mechanic of it. But other than that, like, if that's the only thing that's disappointing me, that's like 5% out of 100, that I'm disappointed in. The other 95% is glorious. And I'm really excited, and like December 7th can't come soon enough for me. Like, I'm gonna get Pokemon Let's Go, and I hope I finish it before December 7th, or it's probably gonna sit while I dive into Smash for a long, long time. Jesse, you are our resident non-smasher, so. But you took time to watch the Direct, and you took time to take such detailed notes.
Yeah, I mentioned to someone
on this Direct and the hype.
Yeah, I mentioned to someone on Twitter that while I don't play the game, I still know enough of what's going on to follow along and understand it. And my son plays the game fairly competitively, and is liking a lot of the things with it as well. So, at a whole, I enjoyed it. I think some of the things when they talked about the spirits, they probably didn't have to go that deep into spirit talk. Kind of the same thing that they did during E3. They kind of went too far on what the nitpicky differences. But on the other hand, they kind of still had to be said to be kind of explained, I think, because there is a lot of nuance going on. It's one of those.
I agree with you on that.
It's one of those. It's okay to tutorialize a little bit and then let the player figure it out. And some games will just over tutorialize you, but some people need it because of the complexity of the game. So
it kind of reminded me of the 2017 E3, where they started off on a huge note with Rocket League and everything was flying along, and then you got 15 minutes of Grandpa Dinosaur from Xenoblade Chronicles 2 talking about, oh, you can do this and you can do that, and you're riding on my back, and just
yeah. So yeah,
it was kind of tone deaf.
And there was a lot. I saw a lot of comments from people on Twitter who didn't know what Incineroar is. One person goes, "Is that a Pokemon?" And I think might have been John from Enigma. He goes, "What is this Firewolf?"
Yes. Yeah. So let's speaking of that, let's dive in and let's talk about some or what was announced, which is a huge. This is going to be kind of like going to a buffet and trying to get a little bit of everything on your plate. But here we go. The Direct started off with a cinematic featuring Little Mac battling a shadowy fighter, which was quickly revealed as Ken, who is an Echo fighter to Ryu. The two of them fought around a little bit until Ken got the upper hand and blasted him through the KO sign in the back. Meanwhile, during this, somewhere in that fight, there was like a scene that just showed some yellow eyes looking out from the darkness at the two of them. And when Ken won, Incineroar charges the ring and leaps in and quickly makes easy work of Ken
in typical
blowing
heel
him
style.
into the KO sign. Yeah. And so from there, the cinematic goes to Incineroar like celebrating, and King DDD and Bowser Jr. and a couple other fighters are behind them waiting.
Villager was one of them.
Yeah, Villager waiting in the wings, waiting to take on Incineroar, and that's where the cinematic
Incineroar gives a look like, oh boy.
Yeah. So from there, they began to kind of dive into some of their moves and some of the things that are different about them. Of course, Ken, being an Echo Fighter of Ryu, has a lot of the same moves. They showed a few of the differences. If you're familiar with Street Fighter, Ken is based off the Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo model of moves, which means his Shoryuken is a flaming Shoryuken. His Tatsumaki Senpukyaku is.
I'm glad you can pronounce that because I couldn't.
Yeah. I learned that when I was 12, and that was a big deal back then. It hits.
I can do Shuriken, and that's about it.
For more hits, and the Hadouken has like outline of his hands in it, and he like Ryu has 2 final smashes, and those are different than Ryu's, which is pretty cool. Incineroar has a totally new moveset. It's based around wrestling moves. And after every one of them, I swear to you, he poses and flexes like a wrestler. He's going to be a really fun character to play.
Well, they even made a point to point that out.
Yeah, and
but
so
I'm looking forward to using
But those
that one.
poses can be interrupted, so they're not like leaving you open every single time.
Yeah, absolutely. From there, they began to talk about Amiibo. Amiibo will be introduced in waves. Of course, we already knew December 7th, Inkling Girl, Ridley, and Wolf are coming out. On February 15th, King K. Rool and Ice Climbers are released, along with another one that we'll talk back to in a few minutes. And then in the future, 2019, Ken, Isabelle, Pichu, Daisy, and Young Link will be also released. All of these Amiibo were shown during this. What I thought was interesting was no Incineroar Amiibo. They didn't even mention it.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
And so I wonder if Incineroar was like, we got to fit this guy in last minute.
You mentioned that, and I was actually thinking that, I can't remember his name, but the other Street Fighter that was a wrestler, what was his name?
Zangief.
Yeah, I thought maybe that they could have gone that direction, and all of a sudden last minute they didn't, and then decided to put Incineroar there or something like that.
Hey, that's actually a good point, man. Yeah, and like I don't know, but they go from talking about this to basically saying, if you count Pokemon Trainer as 3 separate, fighters, that now the base roster of the game is 74 fighters, and they are done. They made sure to make that comment. We're done. But I did notice early on too when they said this that they very much emphasized base game. Which meant obviously that DLC is coming. I just didn't know that they would announce it during this direct. But they go from there. They go to the Amiibo. Then they get into the snooze fest of the entire direct, which is the Spirit mode. Now we knew that Spirits would probably be the name of this mode, thanks to some clever internet folks who had used Photoshop to kind of unblur that mode from the last Smash Direct. But the Spirit mode is going to replace trophies. And that's where I have an issue with this. For those of you who haven't seen it yet or haven't heard, Spirits are going to be collectible in-game characters. There's hundreds of them that come from different games. They showed characters from Metal Gear Solid, and they showed like Mouser from Mario Brothers 2, and Mega Man bosses, and Shantae, and tons of different characters.
Like
and what they're
Hogan's Alley.
Hogan's Alley, yeah. Jesse lists here that he tried to count them and list them, but there were almost 150 just in the video, so he gave up on it.
Right. That was That was a few from Art Academy. That was.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to find one that was weird, but I can't find it anymore. But I must have deleted it. But
these spirits will come in several classes. There will be novice, advanced, ace, and legendary. They will be represented by 1 to 4 stars. And what you can do with these spirits is one of two things. You can either assign them to a character, meaning that they will give whatever power they have to that character, like a speed boost or attack up or defense up or whatever, and they'll actually level up as you use them. The second thing that you can do with them is turn them into like their cores, and then you can equip these cores onto your character, and you can actually equip more cores than you can spirit characters, or they can be combined to create a new spirit. But this is the part I really hate. You lose those spirits to summon a new one. So it's kind of like roulette, luck-based, gachapon.
That's been a core aspect of Persona, so this isn't anything new.
Yeah, well, this isn't Persona. This is Smash. Here's my issue with this. I really enjoyed the trophies in previous Smash games, and I enjoyed the history that came along with them. But I also enjoyed the fact that when I unlocked those trophies or I bought those trophies, I owned them. You know? And I don't know, like, is it going to keep a record of all of the spirits that I've gotten, even if I trade them off or sell them off? Or do I just have them for a time and then poof, they're gone and I've got to find them again? That was not made clear.
Yeah, I think that Sakurai kind of made it clear that the trophies were a bit too much of a task. So I think it's quite a decent trade-off myself, to be honest. I'm the same as you, though. I did like the trophies. But if it meant that, you know, the game's going to get more features over more trophies, then I'm completely fine with that.
Yeah, I could see that point. I mean, I still want my trophies back.
Well, I like what they did with the story part too. Just, you know, obviously it's toward the end, but they look like what was happening is those trophies were turning into those spirits. So
right,
or they were turning those trophies into evil
one
things.
Thing that I appreciated from this direct was, it's always kind of been in the fringes or in the shadows that the story of Smash Brothers is. That all the reason that we can have all these incredible battles with like Sonic versus Bowser or Kirby versus whoever, Ryu, is that all of these characters are toys, right? That are being played with. And they pretty much confirmed that, right? They even said it during the direct. The story of Smash Brothers is all of these characters are toys and they're being played with, And we'll talk about the story here in a little bit. But not only can these spirits be assigned to your character, they can also be assigned to your amiibo. Or they can also be broken down into cores to power up your amiibo as well. And so if an assigned spirit has available slots, that spirit can have spirits added to it. So it's just layer upon layer. It almost reminds me of like Materia from Final Fantasy VII. Like you have so many slots, you can put all these spirits in the slots. The way that you get the spirits is two ways. Tim has already talked about the single player campaign, which obviously has a huge link to the spirits. The other way you can get them is by winning spirit battles, and this is under the green heading. There on the Smash main menu. You can send spirits back to the real world to retrieve its core, and then the cores can be combined to summon new spirits. They train in a gym. But the way that you earn these spirits is that you'll fight a spirit battle, and then you kind of go through this weird roulette thing where a shield appears around them, and you have to shoot in between the shield to hit the fighter inside, and it will knock the spirit out, and you can get it then. So even after doing these spirit battles, you've got this option that or the possibility you may not get anything.
Yeah, they did say that if you end up missing and hit the shield, you'll still do partial damage.
Right.
Which will still keep the that damage the next time you try that. So eventually you can whittle away if you're not
you'll
good
eventually
at
break the shield.
Yeah.
And for those of you who are envisioning this is not like a typical shield like the Smash bubble, like like when you get in the shield and there's the bubble and it kind of shrinks over time. This is like a rotating barrier that has a hole in it.
It reminded me. I saw something like that in Mega Man 11, where most people will use the speed core to slow down to get the better aim, right?
Yeah.
And then once they get good, then they don't need the core anymore. There's
an enemy there that has like this ring around it, and you have to slow down time to be able to hit it. Yeah, that's totally exactly what it looks like. Local wireless play and online play are going to be available. Nintendo Online subscription is required for online play, but not local wireless play. In this, there's no longer for fun and for glory. The way that you're going to be matched up with his opponents is by a set of 3 rules. The first one is going to be, what did you choose your favorite rules to be? The second is going to be your Smash power, your global Smash level, which is basically a number ranking that you're going to earn by playing online. And then the next one is proximity, which is they're going to try to match up players of the same Smash power, the same rules, and close proximity geographically, so that the best lag, I guess, you can minimize lag. So eventually, I guess evidently what that means is since I live here in rural West Tennessee, I'm probably not going to ever be matched up with Gary in England.
And in all fairness, I mean, that was the weakest part of Smash on the Wii U and 3DS, was the online.
Right.
It was so janky. It was untrue. It was juddery. It was, yeah. I mean, especially on 3DS, you'd swing a sword and then it would stop and load, and then you'd carry on swinging the sword for a little bit and then it would stop again, and it drove me insane. So I'm glad that this has changed now. I quite like the option for fun or for glory, but this is a better solution from the sound of it already. Yeah.
I agree. So the whole point of it again is to keep people close together to limit latency. Nintendo actually said in this direct, what did they tell you need, Jesse? Since you predicted this months ago.
A wired LAN cable is recommended.
Yep. You've been saying this over and over. You said that is the only way to assure a great connection and to be sure to keep latency as low as possible.
And I'm showing Jesse, the screen on the stream right now.
Yeah, you are a genius, and they've been listening to you all along. Additional multiplayer modes are also revealed. When your global Smash power gets high enough, you will be able to enter elite battles, which basically say, look at me, I've played a whole lot of Smash.
That's the bragging right channel.
Yeah, it is. One thing I thought that was interesting about this is that they did specifically mention that these elite battles will be watched by the Smash team and will be used to develop balancing patches for the game. So all you Bayonetta players, you just got hosed. Just saying.
Well, not until people get good enough to get that far.
The thing about it is, though, is that, I hate it for those guys who are going to have to, for the first few weeks, watch thousands and thousands of Incineroar versus Ridley battles. Just saying. It's coming.
Yeah, it's definitely coming.
Until February, then they'll get something else in there.
Yeah. Then it'll all be that.
Be Dark.
You guys remember? You guys remember when Link dropped in Mario Kart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Played online. It was just legions of Link. That's what that's going to be like. Smash tags are also going to be a part of this. Smash tags are like a dog tag that you can get or develop that has your name and a color and a character art. And you can win tags from other players. These tags can then be turned around and sold in game to get gold to spend in the vault, which I thought was pretty cool. The more you win, the more gold you can get. Also, short messages can be sent before and after battle via presets a la Mario Kart 8 in the lobby. Other modes that you can use: spectator mode, 2-player team, which is what you and a friend on the same Switch will battle 2 friends on the same Switch. There'll also be a battle arena. And guys, I didn't really understand this. I didn't catch this part of the direct well. Jesse, maybe you can help us. That battle arena had like a mode where you could lay down chips representing your character.
Yeah, I think I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, they had places to spectate. Up to 4 people can do the battle. They had people waiting in line, like you're queuing up, I'm going to take on the winner type of thing. And then once they're all set up, then it plays out. I don't know if the one waiting in line gets to watch or what they're doing, but
it's literally
if you're in the ring, you're fighting, and if you're in the stands, you're spectating. So that's kind of straightforward.
It's literally like the digital version of putting your quarter up, right?
Yeah.
Like I got next. I thought it was pretty cool. This game was revealed that it will connect with the online app for voice chat. Big surprise, right? It is going to use the Nintendo Online voice chat, but it's going to be the second game after Splatoon 2 to get its own in-app experience with the Smash World part of the app, which will be a place you can go watch replays and see photos and all kinds of other things. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think you're going to be able to buy like really cool outfits or anything in there like Smash. From there, they moved on to talk about assist trophies. I loved this. I'm just gonna go on and say I feel like that this was part of the direct, probably where they pissed off the most people. Would you agree with this?
Yes.
Color TV Game 15.
Oh yeah, people hate that thing.
That was awesome.
No. I wasn't kidding. I was kidding about that. So they began to show new and returning assist trophies, and let's talk about some of these because these actually a lot of these were rumored characters at one time for Smash that just did not make it to be real characters. Shadow the Hedgehog, Takamaru. Where did Takamaru come from?
I don't know, but I can look it up real quick.
Yeah, do that. Starman.
The mysterious Mirosame Castle.
Okay, there you go. So that's why I didn't know it. Starman's returning from Earthbound. Nightmare from the Kirby series Color TV Game 15, which, if you don't know what that is basically Pong. And then they got into some brand new assist trophies. Yuri Kozukata from Fatal Frame. Which, like, you want to talk about a deep cut, right? That was a surprise. Isaac from Golden Sun, who many hoped and prayed would be an actual character reveal, is an assist trophy.
And it goes back to we don't need more multicolored haired swordsmen.
Right. I agree. Black Knight from Fire Emblem. Thwomp is becoming I love the way they did the reveal on that. Did you see?
Yeah, they did it on
Kirby
Troll.
became a Thwomp, and then there was a giant Thwomp over him that killed him. And one that probably, again, angered people, Springman, going to be a assist trophy. One that made me happy, Wily Capsule, is going to be an assist trophy. Dr. Wily will appear out of nowhere and start shooting all kinds of stuff. And then in probably one of the most deep cuts of the entire day, Flies and Hand from Mario Paint. The Fly Swatter are in the game as an assist trophy. And that one looked really fun. I have to admit. Tiki from Fire Emblem. You had mentioned this guy earlier, I think, Jesse. Vince from Art Academy.
Amazing.
Yeah,
this is so funny.
Yeah, and the one that made me laugh the most is this next one. Guile from Street Fighter is in, and all he does when he comes out of the trophy is crouch and wait, and he blocks every attack that's sent to him, and then as soon as you get close, he hits you with a flash kick and then combs his hair and disappears.
So just like people did back in the day.
Yeah.
They just needed Van Damme to voice him, and that would have been the best.
I'm Guile. Yeah. No, that was more Arnold. I don't know.
I thought that was so Stallone.
And then one that, to me, this one came out of nowhere too. Akira from Virtua Fighter.
This one wasn't quite as random.
In all, it's 10 Polygon Glory.
Yeah. I don't think this one was quite as random because we had a costume for it in Smash for Wii U, didn't we?
That's true.
Yeah, so I'm really happy it's getting some sort of representation because Virtual Fighter is one of those that I think seeps through the cracks a little bit. You know, where most people would expect like a, you know, Yoshimitsu or Hayachi or something like that instead.
Yeah.
But for the guys, I mean, I wanted Springman as a playable character, but you can't be upset with him being an assist trophy. I mean, normally characters who enter Smash are like a generation behind, like Inkling. You know, we've got them on this, but they weren't on the Wii U one. Same thing there, people want it on the Wii U one. So it's not. I'm not surprised at all that it's just an assist trophy.
You know,
it doesn't mean another character from ARMS may not make it as part of the DLC sets.
That's very true, because I don't think that Springman is the most popular character from ARMS, just to be honest. But let me say this. I think, Gary, you've hit on something very important there, because they pretty much confirmed in this game by talking about Mii fighters and costumes that the Inklings that are in this game are the Splatoon 1 Inklings and not the Splatoon 2 Inklings, which they very clearly showed those costumes and said, look, Splatoon 2 Inklings are part of the Mii fighter costumes. The designs that we get for Inklings in this game are based off the first game, including their colors. And so maybe we do have to wait a generation for Man and them to come in. I don't know.
They also said the same about Rex. That Rex Xenoblade was too late in development for this game.
Yeah,
and I mean that's quite surprising because how long has Xenoblade Chronicles 2 got to have been in development, and how long has this got to have been in development?
Right.
So they must be planning the characters so early on.
They have to in order to design and balance 79 characters.
Right. And we'll come back to that number here in just a minute that Jesse just said. Other features that were mentioned, ZR opens a dashboard, and on there is a huge wealth of options. There's a help mode that gives tons of information. There's huge amounts of tutorials and things in there. There's an all-star mode, which is available out of the box using unlocked characters. You don't have to wait for that anymore. There's also 100-man Smash has been renamed Century Smash. And we'll only use the characters, or we'll have Mii fighters in there for you to do 100-man Smash. All-Star, as we said, will only use the characters you've unlocked. They did mention at the beginning of the game there's only going to be 8 characters unlocked. And it's going to be the original 8 characters that were available in Smash Brothers on the Nintendo 64.
I think that's such a cool touch to do it that way.
Hasn't that kind of been a normal? Has they always done that?
No. In like with Melee, when you started up, I mean, it had the original 8, but it also had the extras.
Okay.
It also had the new fighters like Bowser and some of the others. Brawl did the same thing, and the Wii U version did too. Like Mega Man was available from the beginning; you didn't have to unlock him.
Okay.
But this time you're going to have to.
Shows you what I know.
Him.
I haven't played the games.
I think I think it's really cool. I also think, well, I'll hold my mouth on that one until let's get through this and we'll talk about what I think all of this means. Save and replay match data, create videos are also in this dashboard. Tips and tricks. Are there challenges to earn rewards? And I love this. The challenges are now represented in the game like a comic book, broken up by different series. Once you finish that challenge, you can go back and see the full image. Comic book style. You can scroll through those or scroll through the pages. There'll be records to track battle history. You can trade your Smash tags for in-game gold, and then gold can be traded for music tracks, spirits, and more. There's 11 languages supported, not just in text, but in the way that the characters are named.
Yeah, all the VOs are in different languages.
They took time to show that Villager has 8 or 10 different names, which was kind of funny because the German version of Villager is something like Dorpsberauer or something. Just made me laugh. It just, and the voice was like,
you heard that too, didn't you? I was laughing too at that one.
Yeah, it was good. Like, I love it. I love different languages. Handheld and TV mode has separate settings for brightness that will automatically switch when you dock and undock. Custom balance is available during local multiplayer. Like you can balance certain characters to be more powerful or weaker than others. And Mii Fighters will still be there with customizable outfits, including new outfits like the Yiga Clan, Splatoon 2 Ribbon Girl, Chibi Robo, Ray Mark III, and out of nowhere, freaking Toy-Con Robot.
That's awesome.
And can I ask this? Did you guys see that in there, that somewhere there was a robot behind him mimicking his motions?
I did.
Yes.
He even did the backflip and the robot backflip too.
Yep.
But what I'm saying is where did the robot come from? They didn't even explain that.
Well, the robot was mostly off camera, so you would only see it if you were looking away from the actual character.
Maybe
Well,
it's
I'm
a
thinking
smash.
you're going to be able to see behind that character as he's playing, right?
Maybe it's a smash move.
That would mean a different type of Mii Fighter then, but they didn't explain that. But anyway,
Or maybe it'll just be something in the background mimicking you but it won't actually.
I love the
affect the fight.
Joy-Con idea. And it's the funny part about it is like a lot of the leaks about Smash have been kind of spot on about things. It's just been in different areas, right? Because there was one leak that said there was going to be like a Labo character, and of course there were leaks saying there was going to be Incineroar and others, and Shadow, and the Grinch leak, whatever. And all of this stuff has ended up in there in some shape or form, which I think is.
If you take 1 million people taking 5 guesses each, though, you're going to get a lot of right ones.
Right, yeah. One of the last things that they announced for this game is that paid DLC will be coming in the form of 5 new fighters, no echoes. Each set will include 1 fighter, 1 stage, and several music tracks for $5.99 each. Or you can buy the Fighter Pass, which is $24.99. And if you do that, you'll get all 5 when they're available. And you'll also get the Rex costume for the Mii Swordsman and music from the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 game and series. And Xenoblade Chronicles characters will also be available as spirits. It will take a year for all DLC to be released. But then Sakurai said, but we want to give you something free. We'd like to give you a free piece of DLC. And he dropped the most amazing, crazy, weird, fantastic character in Smash on us. If you purchase the game before January 31st, either digitally or physically, you will have access to the free Piranha Plant fighter.
Yes.
With its own stage and its own selection of music.
Feed me,
which will be available on February 15th, along with a Piranha Plant amiibo.
It's the best. It's the greatest single character that's ever been added to Smash Bros. The amiibo is fantastic. He's got a great moveset. He looks awesome. He's not Waluigi. What's not to love?
He's not Waluigi. That's exactly what's not to love.
I heard somewhere that this is the
Piranha Plant gets his turn before Waluigi.
He's
I heard
been in
somewhere
more
that
games.
this is the ultimate way Nintendo control its fans.
You know what the even crazier part of it is I saw a video or like stills from the video where Piranha Plant was jumping and people noticed that it has feet coming out the bottom of the pipe. And the caption on there is "My whole life is a lie."
Well,
and I will admit this: it has an incredibly awesome moveset.
Yeah.
And in the its final smash is PD Piranha.
What more could you want? Honest.
I like how the color of his face, whatever you call it, changes depending on the type of move he's doing. So it'll go all blacks when he's doing like a physical attack. It'll turn in red when he's blowing fire.
Yeah.
You know what though? Now that the doors are open for normal, generic, everyday baddies, we need Goomba, we need Boo, we need Bobobkin, and we need everything.
Not before Waluigi.
Not before Dash and the Giant. I'm calling it. Dashing the Giant for Smash.
Yeah. So the game is now available for pre-purchase with double gold coins if you pre-purchase digitally. The game alone is $59.99, which means you get 600 gold coins, or you can buy the game and the Fighter Pass, which is the only way to buy the Fighter Pass right now, for $84.98 American. That's 850 gold coins. You will also receive the normal coin amount on purchase and will get the double value at the time the game releases.
And the Fighters Pack will be available for the people who buy standalone, at the time of launch.
Yeah. That's coming. It's not. I didn't mean to say that it wasn't coming. It's just
right. I just don't think they have a way
right
to pre-order DLC other than by doing it as a bundle.
Right. Smash Brothers. Sakurai then announced that Smash Brothers will be at various North American events before launch to let people play with the full 74 character roster, including up through Incineroar. Piranha Plant won't be added yet. And that will start with various college football games each week. A TBS esports show will be coming soon, which Sakurai has been confirmed to commentate on, and more events will follow. Thinking that was the last part of the direct, and that's what they were going to close on, Sakurai then revealed a tidbit about the single-player version of this game, which I thought was Spirits up until this time, but it is not. We're getting an adventure mode called World of Light, which explains how the characters turned into spirits. I love how they specifically said before they showed this video, we have made an adventure mode, not like Subspace Emissary, that will concentrate more on fun and not story.
Just a quick chime in, sorry, before we carry on with this.
Sure.
This was actually a regionalised presentation, so we in the UK have actually got those events as well, by the way. It's not just for North America.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
Yeah. No, normally it's the Americans get the Target exclusive like demos and stuff, and then we get nothing. We've actually got a Smash event happening as well.
That's cool.
I'm glad you brought that up because I thought it was weird that it just mentioned North American people, but I didn't even think that it might. Look at me and my American privilege. I didn't even think that they would do anything in your country. It's terrible. That, like I said it came out of my mouth. I was like, oh gosh.
He does not represent the rest of us here.
Yeah, well, what do you expect?
Man, the Euro boys need things as well,
Send your hate mail to.
Well, you haven't heard the beginning of the show yet about the Euro boys, so anyway, just go back and listen to it.
Okay.
So World of Light is coming. Intro video was played that basically has all the Smash characters standing on a cliffside looking out over the water, where hundreds of master hands are descending from the sky, seemingly being controlled by this weird angelic ball of light that's wrapped in wings.
I want to know what that is.
Yeah, they were oddly the same color as the neon Joy-Cons. If you hadn't noticed that, they're neon. They're neon pink and neon blue. The master hands. Fox says, "Don't let any of them escape." Marth says, "We'll have to take about 200, or we'll have to take about 10 down each." At which point, the master hands shed their gloves and turn into hands of pure blue light, which are then turned into basically missiles that are fired at our heroes, and people start dying left and right.
I love how Shulk saw it coming, and he turns around to warn everybody, but it's just too late.
Yeah. It's literally the Avengers turn to dust, Thanos finger snap of the Nintendo universe. I would have loved it, by the way, if they'd had Master Hand snap his fingers for that to happen. But these beams of light start hitting characters. They start turning into dust. We see our heroes try to do anything and everything. Falco takes to the skies and the R-Wing gets obliterated. As we referenced earlier, Wii Fit Trainer strikes a pose and tries to bring Namaste to the situation. Gone. Snake hides in a box.
Inkling squirts some ink on the ground and then swims in it.
To turn into, and it just obliterates the ground where it is. I love that part. It basically Mario's gone, everybody's gone, Samus is gone, Link. It's narrowed down to Kirby, and Kirby is being chased by these beams, and all of a sudden he turns into little stars and is gone. The next shot that you see is a decimated landscape with all of these spirits floating around as if they don't know what to do, and we see Kirby appear, and we realize. And I thought this was really like one of those heartwarming moments because of Kirby and his connection to Sakurai. We realized that Kirby is the hero at the start of this game. He is the one. He's the chosen one. We also get a shot of Mario imprisoned by some light tentacles and I thought they were just killing Mario with lava. Just to be honest, like it looks like they're pouring lava over him. And this material goes over him, flows down into the underside of the base he's standing on, and makes a dark copy of Mario that is then falls off and is inhabited by a spirit to bring it to life. And the next shot that we're shown is Kirby fighting that Mario in game.
So when did Kojima start working on Smash as well, by the way?
I don't know. But these red-eyed...
Did he ever stop?
Like these red-eyed dark versions of the Nintendo characters actually look kind of wicked. Actually look pretty scary. The premise of the game, or first single-player campaigns, basically seems to be that Kirby battles dark versions of the other fighters to return their spirits to their bodies, and then you can play as those fighters, which I would assume unlock different abilities and different things you need to traverse what looks to be a pretty huge map of the world, right? I did notice that it almost looked, it was like done in like a storybook style, so it almost looked like a board game or an illustration from a Winnie the Pooh book of the 100 Acre Wood in some of those shots of it. And there's clouds covering a majority of it, so I'm guessing those expand out. Different shots showed various heroes taking on copies of themselves and other characters, pressing buttons, opening doors, being in Bowser's Castle and various other, well-known locations, and even boss fights. So I think this is going to be pretty epic.
I do. I think this is going to be a better one-player mode than Subspace Embassy.
Yeah, I'll probably try this mode when when my son buys it. I'll probably borrow it for try that mode out, just to see how long I last. I'm not going to try any multiplayer modes. I can't do multiplayer.
Seeing this mode, let me ask you this: Do you wish that Smash Run or Smash Tour had been included in the game as well, or is this enough?
No, we don't. I mean, that's the thing, you see, because historically people don't like all those other modes, so I think this is the best replacement they could have found. And I don't know if you noticed as well, guys, that he summoned the Lapras in the one-player mode to go across the water.
He sure did.
There was a section where there was an R-Wing flying in space. So it looks like it's really in-depth still, as much as, the history of the characters in general.
Yeah, like I said, I was excited for this. This is the part that made me even more excited for the game.
Yeah, I got really hyped seeing this. I don't think we need to take the line, we've concentrated more on fun than story. We don't need to take that as there's absolutely no story at all.
Yeah.
Right? There's going to be a story, maybe just not as convoluted as Subspace Emissary.
Yeah, well, it'll probably be as much of a story as any Mario game.
Sure.
Here you are. Your goal is to get to the end. There might be a mini cutscene, and then you're on another level. Your goal is to get to the end. Repeat.
I think there's gonna I love the way this cutscene set it up. I think there's actually going to be a lot more.
I hope so.
And can we just talk for a second about the biggest hero and the person with the biggest heart out of this entire trailer was Sonic the Hedgehog, trying to save little Pikachu before he got evaporated.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't that just warm your heart a little bit?
It's just like the whole thing was just.
It was so good. Like the detail in it was just crazy. I mean, to get even as silly as something like Snake hiding in the box, that takes somebody to know the characters to put that sort of stuff in.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
So
it's probably one of those games where I'd want to record all the cutscenes and just put them all together and make a movie out of it.
maybe there'll be a way that you can go back and play those after it's done, or something like that. That would be nice.
Which I said I've wanted to do with Zelda with the memories. Never
Yeah.
got around to it, but I'm,
But
of course-
considering
so
how
here's my
much
question.
content is in this, I wouldn't be surprised if you could watch all the movies together,
Yeah.
credit together.
Yeah, absolutely. My question to you guys is this: seeing all of the stuff that's packed into this, and the very obvious or very blatant use of Kirby as the hero of the single player mode, right? And all kinds of other signs pointing to this. Do you guys think this is Sakurai's last Smash Brothers?
I don't think it will be. I think he's going to do what they did after the Wii one and go on to a different game for a while. Because, I mean, it's one of those things like the Zelda producers and stuff, they get a little bit more of a difference. There's different types of Zeldas, but Smash is Smash.
did he do another
Yeah.
game after the Wii U one, or did he jump right into
Yeah.
Kid Icarus.
Kid Icarus. Not after the Wii U one,
No.
jump straight into this one.
Kid Icarus was after the Wii, before Wii U.
Yeah. No, he jumped straight from Wii U onto this one, apparently.
Yeah,
But-
he had to have.
Yeah.
But, I
And-
mean, the thing
reminds
with
you-
Kirby...
Go ahead.
Sorry, Jesse, go on.
All right, so I don't know if it was like some stage or if it was something that was actually a surprise, but when I went to when we was at E3 2011, we went to like the behind closed doors developer roundtable thing. They were talking about Kid Icarus because they had demo stations and it was not yet released but releasing soon. And Iwata made a comment about that. Oh yeah, we'll be working on Smash soon, and it'll be a 3DS and Wii U will be working together. And he's like, oh, "What? You didn't tell me this."
Yeah.
So I'm sure that was staged.
Surprise!
Yeah, I like
But it was
how he added,
amusing.
I like how he added in this direct as well. The thing about when will I get a break sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I think Kirby's surviving. I don't think that's a sign of that. To be honest, I think it is literally just down to the knowledge of the characters again. Like he's got the warp star. He's the only one who could have warped out that situation.
I
So-
thought it was more sentimental than that
Mm.
because of the connection. But you could be right. I think that I think you are right in that we won't see another new Smash for a long time after this.
I don't think we need more than one per generation, and this
No,
is pretty
no,
early
no.
still.
I agree. Yeah, once this, because we don't know how long the Switch generation is going to last, and even if they do, the next generation is probably going to be backwards compatible with current one. So really, do we need another Smash for that? Probably not.
Yeah, if they could do 5 DLC fighters now and then 5 DLC fighters like over a couple of years later, it's still fresh, right?
Hmm.
It's that again. It comes back to that evergreen comment about providing more downloadable content for older games. Either way, I think everybody just needs to go ahead and circle December 7th on their calendar. Take the day off. Get you some food that you enjoy. Find a warm blanket. Find a nice place to hang out. Enjoy Smash.
So one thing
It's going to be fantastic.
One thing I'm confused about is the Switch branded GameCube adapter with new GameCube controllers, wired GameCube controllers, are launching tomorrow. So why a month early?
Demos.
It could be demos, but it also could be to push product out so they're able to make sure that they have a lot of it out there because they know the demand for it.
Because I pre-ordered an adapter and a controller. Then my son, not knowing that I did, also pre-ordered an adapter and a controller. So we decided keep the pre-orders going and we'll make a last-minute decision. And then your video about the wireless GameCube controller, I'm like, okay, sold. Because I'm like, this is I've been saying, how long have I been saying that I wanted to have a Wavebird 2? This is basically it. Or at least it's the closest thing it's going to be. So I dropped my pre-order for the wired, pre-ordered the wireless one. I've still kept my adapter. My son still kept his, so he'll be picking those up from GameStop tomorrow.
That's cool. Yeah, I think that's just to get those out there and have more shelf life on them.
But
you're advertising Smash.
I'd like to see a demo.
When you're doing that.
I'd like to see the demo.
I would like to see a demo, and that may be a very real possibility within the next little bit. To be honest, I thought that was going to be introduced today during Treehouse Live, but it wasn't. And I really don't understand why they made such a big deal about Treehouse Live, seeing as how there wasn't really any other information given during that. That was all that groundbreaking.
Yeah, people were hoping they were going to use that as an announcement for an N64 Classic, which didn't happen.
Yeah, well, people also were thinking that freaking Banjo-Kazooie was going to be a character, and that makes me laugh. Anyway, that's all the news for this week. Let's move on to what we've been playing, shall we? And guys, we are already topping out at 2 hours on this show, just about. And so we're going to move through this pretty quick. Tim, you are our guest. We want to hear what you've been playing this week.
So I've been playing a couple games. One that I reviewed, and it's up on our YouTube page, The Legend of Evil. I've been having a lot of fun with that. So go watch that review to see my thoughts on that one. But if I would say, just in brief, if you like tower defense, or they call this tower offense, if you like those type of games and it's got a funny dialogue, check that one out. I wish they had a demo. I even asked. I can't even say that. I even asked the developer if they would make a demo, and they said they were looking into it. So, who knows what that means? But we'll see. The other one that I'll be having a review on shortly is a game called My Brother Rabbit. And I jokingly said that game looked like it would make me cry. So, so we'll see. I'll have a review out for that hopefully by this weekend. But those are the two main ones I'm playing.
Cool. Jesse, I know you've been dying to talk about this game. What have you been playing?
Okay, well, before I get to that one, I wanted to do a quick update on Pixel Puzzle Collection. That's the one Marty recommended to me. It's Picross with Konami assets.
Right.
The game threw a curveball at me. So, as I said before, that they have boss puzzles that I can only play one every 4 hours, and then all of the non-boss puzzles I can just play as much as I want. I was hoping that when the non-boss puzzles were done, it'd let me just go nuts on the boss puzzles. No. I still have to wait one every 4 hours to do a boss puzzle, and so I can't play the game anymore. I'm at 81.6%, so about 20% of the game is boss puzzles. And in addition to the boss puzzles I've already done. So yeah, I've already played through this game other than boss puzzles, so...
That's exactly where my wife is. She told me the other night, she's like, yeah, so this game, I can't play it anymore. I was like, why? Are you too addicted to it? She's like, no, it won't let me play it anymore.
It won't let me play it anymore.
Right.
So yeah, that was amusing.
That's such a strange setup for a game. I don't get it.
Anyway, yeah. So the other game I hinted last week that I wanted to play it but didn't get a chance to yet was 7 Billion Humans, which is a sequel to Human Resource Machine. If you're curious on what it is, I have a video out there showing about the first 40-ish minutes. I think Tim...
And it's an awesome video, yes.
Thank you. So it's... If you know... Human Resource Machine is kind of like a basic programming language where you manipulate one person to do a task, and when you complete it, you go on to the next level. So 7 Billion Humans is that, but you are not limited to one worker. You will often have as many as 10 or more. Some usually it's around like 5 or 8. So there's usually a reason why they give you the number of people that they give you. So it's usually a hint of how to solve it. But so they have you solving different types of problems. Like in the first game, you had by the end of the game you were doing a lot of sorting numbers, sorting strings. Here you're not doing that as much, but you're like the very end of the level, you're making a counter. Like you have to count from 1 to 15 in binary, then you have to count in decimal for about like 30 iterations, going into starting at 999,000 blah 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 into crossing the million. And then the last one is you're doing powers of 2, starting with 1 and doubling it until you're into 8 million. And so just it takes a bit of planning to make the workers do what you want it to do, because the biggest limitation is you only have 4 pieces of memory. And there was so many times I wanted more memory to do what I wanted to do, and since it didn't have it, I had to think up a new plan. So I didn't solve every problem. There's a few I skipped and have to go back on, but I did finish the game and saw the ending, and just like Human Resource Machine, it's gloomy, and it's amazing. I recorded it. I want to post it, but I'm going to hold off on that until more people have had a chance to play it that want to.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. I will say though, the biggest negative I have on the game is there are 2 input methods, and I hate both of them. The first one is if you can use one Joy-Con, and it doesn't matter which one's which. You can use the left or the right, and you kind of what's the term I'm thinking of? You kind of center it, and it works like a Wii Motion Plus Wii Remote, like the Zelda Skyward Sword. Thank you. So you're using that as a pointer, and it gets off center way too easy because it's not really sensing anything. It's using its gyros, and it's not 100% accurate. So you're constantly recentering, and that's annoying. The other method is touchscreen, and I have short, stubby fingers, so there's a very little space to click exact what you want to click, so I'm constantly missing. I'm thinking to myself, what's the difference between this and the Wii U game that I loved? And then I remembered, the Wii U used a stylus. That was a much better input method than my fat stubby finger. So if there was a stylus,
have you tried using a stylus with your Switch?
No, because the styluses that work for this type of screen, require like the squishy rubber padding.
Yeah,
I don't like those either.
Okay.
I like the Wii U and the 3DS style of stylus that actually goes to a point and is very specific on what you can do with it.
They have mesh ones too that aren't rubbery. They have mesh ones that touch that are nice.
I haven't seen those, but so it takes a while to get used to it and fight through that. But if you can get past that, or if you don't have as fat fingers as I do, then the game is still, to me, was mentally stimulating and enjoyable. Very much like when I solve Picross puzzles. There's a routine that I follow. What level is that? Tim's showing me his screen. I don't
know what level that is. It's the screenshot on the eShop, and that looks crazy.
Okay, so yeah, that I don't remember what level that was because I can't read it, but
that just looks like mumbo jumbo to me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Listen, you guys like it. There are people who like it because they've been watching your video. I'm sure there's listeners who like it. Guys, if you're a fan of coding or programming style games, trust Uncle Jesse on this one. 7 Billion Humans is probably for you.
And I know there are people who are programmers by trade, so don't want to do it as a hobby or for fun. But this is such a basic level that it's a different way of thinking than your normal Java programming.
So you're saying it would probably end up being relaxing for them?
Oh, probably not. I wouldn't call it. I wouldn't call this game relaxing because it's
okay.
It can be pretty mentally straining trying to figure out
Gotcha.
how to do it with the limitations. But it is satisfying when you do it.
Gotcha.
In fact, the binary one I hinted at. I actually recorded. Made a video and I put it on my personal YouTube channel. I didn't show the code so I wouldn't spoil anything. I just showed what the workers look like, and I was actually surprised that everything worked the way it did. They each have a box with a 1 on it, and there are 4 buttons, and so you can't. They're not allowed to change the number. In fact, the right command is not available for that puzzle. So they literally have to pick it up and move back up and put it down. And then someone else push the button to register, a 0. Then they put 1 down and push a button to say 1. Then pick up the 1 and put down the other 1 in the 2's position to say 2, etc. To finally count up to 15 in binary.
Wow.
So
and you just spoke Greek to 75% of our audience, so that's okay.
Probably, but
that's fine.
If you want a visual representation, go find my YouTube channel. Then it'll make more sense seeing it versus me trying to explain it.
Yeah. And here's the deal. Like, I love the fact that Switch is home to games like this, and it's literally something for everybody, right? Speaking of something for everybody, Gary, you've been playing a little bit. Like, I'm looking at your list here. You've been playing something for everybody.
I have been playing something for everybody.
Well, tell us.
Well, first of all, I've been playing Grip, which is a game that we can't talk too much about. So if you want
I'm super excited for this. So can we talk about it after we go off the air?
We might be able to. It depends if Jesse's going to keep that recording button going.
I'll do so for a little bit, but we can cut that one short.
We'll wait.
I'm excited for this one too.
We had a long.
I love racing games.
So we'll talk more about that next week if people want input on that one. I've been playing Skyscrapers, which is an indie game, which is about people who fight while climbing to the top of a falling skyscraper. So it's kind of weird because they're not going that far off the ground, but the skyscraper's coming down.
Sounds like something you see from a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, it's a strange game. I haven't played it for too much, if I'm being completely honest. It's more of a multiplayer game. The one-player mode, it was okay. It wasn't quite so interesting though. But you can play it in portrait mode, which is really cool because that's the best way to play it, I think.
Zach put up a video on that earlier today, I think.
Yeah, as I say, so head over to the YouTube channel, watch Zach's video on that one if you want some more input on that. There's a video again up on YouTube of Paw Patrol on a roll, which I've been playing with my daughter Erica. I think I spoke a little bit about it last week, if I remember right, but it's a really cute game, really easy entry point platformer. You will have to give them a little bit of help if they're a bit younger with some of the, for some reason there's a double jump mechanic in there, and some platforms where you'll have to go left before you can go right, which she doesn't understand, but as a whole it's perfectly accessible to a 4-year-old. Also teaches them a bit about the button layout on a controller, and gives them some multiple choice things that they have to select. So really cool game for the younger kids. And I've been playing the most Dark Souls-east of Dark Souls games. It's just Dark Souls, and it continues.
Again?
Dark Souls-east Dark Souls of Dark Souls games, and it continues to be incredibly tough. But so enjoyable because of it, because as soon as you get past something that you've been stuck on for 2 hours, it's incredibly rewarding. And also I've played probably about an hour and a half's worth of Luigi's Mansion on the 3DS, which I'm really, really enjoying at the minute. I played it at a demo booth a couple of months back at EGX before it was released, and I think somebody had changed the controls because it plays a lot different. So I've been enjoying that, but it as cool as it is, it's lost some of the refinements that Luigi Mansion 2 gave. So it's not quite as easy to play. It's not quite as smooth and as fun. But it is the original Luigi Mansion game, which was still full of awesomeness. So we are going to talk about something else in a minute, which is more what I've been playing with than what I've been playing. But we'll let you go first, Marty. So if you want to carry on with
so let's just do that. So I'm catching up to the rest of everybody here, and I'm going to talk about a game that I've been playing on my Switch that didn't originate on the Switch. But this weekend, I started and finished Undertale. And this was at the recommendation of my son, who I had bought the collector's edition for because he bought the game or wanted the game. I fell in love with the characters via YouTube. Earlier in the week or earlier in the month after getting the game, he finished it. For those of you who aren't familiar with Undertale, your decisions influence the game. And there's 3 different endings. You can get what's called the true pacifist route, you can get the neutral route, or the genocide route, depending on how you interact with the monsters in the game. It is entirely possible to go through this game and never kill a single enemy. And that's important if you want to get the true pacifist route, right? So, and it's really, it's not that easy to do. It's not insanely difficult, but it's not easy to do. After he got the true pacifist route and raved about the game, I decided I would sit down and play it. And I got called out on Twitter about what I'm about to say, and I don't care. This immediately became one of my top 5 games of all time. Simply because of the story and the characters. I cannot believe how endearing the characters in this game were. And I encourage you, if you've never played Undertale and you love JRPGs, or you have a good sense of humor and you just love different, Undertale is for you. There's so much to this very seemingly innocent little game that you can finish really in roughly about 6 hours. And it's just, guys, I really can't tell you just how incredible it was. There were parts I laughed out loud. There were parts that I was genuinely sad, and just my parts that made my jaw drop. And that's what video games are about. Like, that kind of storytelling is what video games to me are about, that leave indelible impressions on your life that you always remember. And there's times playing through this game that I'll always remember. And so that's why it's top 5 for me. I don't really have to explain myself to anybody, but it's top 5 for me, and it always will be.
I'm just trying to figure out why somebody would even give you flack for that.
Well, it's the internet. Ironically, I finished.
Michael says in the chat, great music, enjoyable characters, good story. The Undertale fan base is kind of bad, though. And I said, yeah, like most fandoms. Yeah,
that's true. They've run off several people, but it's funny that this week I saw a comment that said, "Oh, it's cool to like Undertale again." And the reason for that is that Toby Fox, who is the creator of Undertale, posted a cryptic message via the Undertale Twitter on Tuesday, which was the 30th, and it said, "Come back in 24 hours." If you came back the next morning, there was simply a link to deltarune.com, which, if you're smart, you'll notice is an anagram or a rearrangement of the letters of Undertale, but it's also the name of the symbol that's on the front of the locket, and you see it on the package, like the little fairy-looking thing with 3 triangles. That's the Deltarune, and it's a symbol of the Kingdom of Monsters. Basically, what Deltarune was a brand new game. And Toby released the first chapter of this game. I'm currently making my way through it. I'm so glad. You definitely need to finish Undertale before you play this, because, of course, like anything Undertale, I've learned speculation runs wild as to what this actually is and what it means, since it's only chapter 1. But some people are theorizing it's reality after a certain route that you complete in the first game. Some people are saying it's an alternate universe, it's an alternate timeline, it's a prequel. Nobody really knows what it is. They just know that familiar Undertale characters are in it, and they're completely different, as well as new ones. And so finish Undertale first, and then go download Deltarune. Deltarune's free, and it's incredible as well. Like, it is full-on RPG, like Final Fantasy style RPG. So with commands and everything. So Undertale, I cannot recommend it enough. If you're on the fence, consider this me pushing you off the fence. Go buy it.
Marty and I was talking before the show a little bit, and I told him how far along I was. I started playing it. So it sounds like I'm somewhere between a third and a halfway through.
Yeah. Yeah. You're talking about Deltarune.
Yeah.
Not Undertale.
Right.
Deltarune is they say this first chapter is at 3 hours, and I would guesstimate that's about halfway through the first game. So there's definitely a lot more content here. I've also been playing. We got a package earlier this week, and inside that package was a copy of Mutant Football League, which is a brand new take on the old. It's a spiritual successor to EA Sports Mutant League Football. This is developed by Digital Dreams Entertainment, and it launched. It's actually everywhere. It's on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch. Gentlemen, let me ask you this: have any of you ever played NFL Blitz?
No.
Yes.
Okay, Tim, then you and I could talk here for a minute. This is NFL Blitz. It has the announcer from NFL Blitz in it.
Okay.
As a skeleton.
Nice.
As a skeleton. And this game is absolutely fun to 11. I love it. I love it. It's so easy to play. The thing I love, like I've not gotten a lot of hands-on time with it because of my time this week being limited, but I will say this. They give you a tutorial at the beginning of the game to the point that if you've never even heard what football is, you will know what it is by the end of the tutorial, and you will know how to play this game. They explain the rules of football the way you can understand it. They explain defense and offense and special teams and all of that in a way you can understand it. But this game is so fast-paced, and it's so much fun. I have had an absolute blast with it so far. I will tell you on the front end, this game is not family-friendly out of the box. You can make it family-friendly, though, and I learned that after playing it and having to turn the volume all the way down because it was dropping S-bombs and F-bombs and all kinds of stuff constantly.
Wow.
You can go into the options and turn off adult language, and you can turn off blood. So it basically, I mean, like the monsters will still like explode or, fall to pieces when they get hurt or die. But it just won't be as gory. The first match that I played, the field had giant fire pits in the middle, like holes, flaming holes in the middle of it. And one time I was running and I didn't notice and just fell in one of them. And my quarterback died. And so substitutions are frequent in this game. You can also bribe the ref, so that like I bribed the ref and the opposing team got a touchdown and he called it back, and then he called the next few calls for them badly. They got like 45 yards in penalties, and so then they enacted kill the ref, which you can then like assault him and fall on him and try to kill him. And if you don't kill him, then he gives you another 15-yard penalty and sends you even further back. There's you can shock your opponents. You can blow them up. You can blow them up with a bomb. It's just a ton of fun, and like the announcer keeps things going. The music, the aesthetic actually looks really good on the Switch, and it's so snappy and fast. It plays really good. So I know that some people said we don't talk about sports games enough here on the show. Here we are. We're talking about a sports game. I love this game. And since it doesn't look like we're getting Madden or anything like that football-wise really soon, this is your choice for football on the Switch. Also, I love the fact that they all of the team names in this game are takeoffs of, like, real NFL teams. Like, I can't remember what a lot of them are. But like I'll see if I can find some real quick.
Oakland Invaders.
Yeah, the Oakland Invaders. I'm
trying to see that. Oh wait, let me pull that.
Yeah,
up.
now
Galaxy Chaos.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see it
now
from the
we're hunting
screenshots.
for it, right? So,
but yeah, it's on the eShop here, and
Yeah,
$29.99 in the U.S. here. But I've been
really,
dying for a football game on here.
It's pretty affordable to the point that, if you get it and you're not totally satisfied with it, there is a physical copy version as well. I know there's a lot of people who listen who love physical copies. That's what we got. And it's out there, release day and date with the digital version. So if you're not sure that you like it, but you may want to give it a try, there's the physical copy out there. You can get, at least you can trade it back if you don't like it or whatever. But if you're a football fan and you like arcade style football, then I think this is definitely one you need to keep your eye on and watch. This is the Dynasty Edition, by the way, which means you get all the DLC from this, meaning you start with the Demonic Legion DLC pack, you get the Wolf Pack DLC, the Dynasty mode, and retail exclusive items as well. So you're going to be playing as robots and skeletons and aliens and all kinds of other things that make up your team. It's just a really cool package. I highly recommend it. Also, I have been playing with some new controllers. I've been playing games with new controllers. And Gary, you can kind of speak to this as well. I got a package in the mail last week from PowerA here at Nintendo Dad's headquarters, and they had 2 brand new controllers inside, one of which will not even be available until Black Friday, which we'll talk about here in a minute. But the first controller in the package was PowerA's enhanced wireless controller, which is their version of the Pro controller. It is $49.99 at retail, or if you're like at my Walmart, it was $44.99, so $5 off. And these are coming in various different styles. There's the red one, which is the one we got that Tim is showing us right now. It's like Nintendo Red with black buttons, black stick, black joystick.
Did you know that's
digital.
an Amazon exclusive one?
Is it really?
Yep, the red one.
That's the one they sent me. There's also a white version, a white-bodied version with red buttons and a red directional pad that has the Switch logo on it. There's also a Mario one with Mario's shadow on it, and a Zelda one. And guys, these come with no HD rumble, no amiibo support. They do have gyro controls, but basically a lot of the bells and whistles are out. But for $50, it's a pretty sweet trade-off. They are battery powered, and by battery powered we mean AA batteries. But my son has been using this controller for about a week or so, and absolutely loves it. He did not have a Pro controller before now, and is just really, really talked about how much he likes this controller. If you've ever played with the PowerA wired controllers, they feel like the ergonomics of the grip is just a little bit different than the Pro controller. This controller is light. It is it's sturdy. It syncs. I mean, immediately with the Switch. Completely responsive. Just a really cool package. And if you're looking to save a few dollars or trim a few dollars off your holidays, then this is a great option for you. And we'll talk about the other PowerA controller here in a minute. Gary, why don't you talk about the controller you got?
Yeah, so I've been playing.
Sorry, real quick. The Amazon Mario one is on sale for $44.88 on Amazon.
That's a fantastic deal. Go now.
Okay, so I've been playing with a Hycorus wireless Nintendo Switch controller. It's a PS4 design sort of thing, so it's got all the buttons in the same place as that, so the sticks are both down at the bottom. This is a really nice controller. It's got some interesting features, like you'll see in a second if you're watching the video, that the buttons light up. So you got the home, A, B, X, and Y all light up, which is really cool. It's a nice effect. They're sort of inlaid down, so they shine through. It has the gyro on it. It also has a very powerful rumble. It's not HD rumble, but it's a really incredibly strong rumble. And it's kind of cool that these controllers are having gyro come out with them now as well. It's wireless with a chargeable battery. It takes 2 hours to charge for 7 hours of gameplay, which is pretty cool. And those lights, by the way, you can actually turn them on and off. And this controller
I'm sure
also,
that saves a little bit of power, right?
yeah, I'm sure it does. This controller also works with Android and PC as well. And it's a really cool controller. I've been really enjoying it. The sticks are a little small on it, but they're actually really comfortable. They don't sort of, they have a nice rubber coating on. The controller's got some added grip on the back, and it's soft touch on the front. So it feels really nice in the hand, but it does feel like a PS4 controller. The bumpers on it, they're actually labelled up like a PlayStation. So you got, instead of LR, ZL, ZR, you've got LB, LT, which is Xbox, I believe, more than PlayStation. So they're labelled up, differently, but it honestly doesn't matter. But the thing is about the triggers is they are kind of, they feel analog, but obviously the Switch is digital, so they register digitally. They obviously don't register as analog because the Switch just isn't made for it. It is a nice controller. Probably the biggest weakness on it is the D-pad. It's really squishy and sort of it moves around quite a bit. So if you're going to get it for retro gaming, it's probably not quite as good. But I've been playing Dark Souls with it. It's really, really good controller for that. Because I'm bad at Dark Souls, it vibrates my hands to death. But I've been highly recommended so far. I was trying to find a price for it, but I don't know if it's available yet at the minute. I can't find it online yet.
It's showing on Amazon for $29.98 in the States here.
So that's really cheap for what it is. That's a really good price, to be fair. The one thing I will say is that when I first went to use it, I was playing on some indie games, having a good time, nothing wrong. When I did go around to Dark Souls, it kept throwing up an amiibo error, which it did the same on as well on Splatoon, because it doesn't have amiibo functionality. But with a quick update, a quick firmware update via the PC, it's been completely perfect. So for a budget, if you want a budget controller with gyro and rumble, then this is actually really, really recommended, especially at that price. That's way cheaper than I thought it would be as well. It's a good, comfortable controller. If you're a PS4 fan, then you're going to feel completely at home with it. I recommend it. I've actually been using it over my Pro controller at the minute as well. It's recommended for me.
And they're showing Amazon right now, at least on mine, showing save an extra 10% when you apply this coupon button. So
So I mean, I say I'm using it over my Pro controller. I don't think it's as good as a controller as the Pro, but I quite enjoy the powerful rumble in it. So that's why I've been using it at the minute over that. But yeah, I mean, it's great. These third-party controllers are no longer how they used to be, where like they were so bad that you'd give them to your, younger brother or your friends, and they wouldn't be able to touch yours. These are such a quality now that if that come with the console, you would not complain.
Yeah, and also I'm noticing this on Amazon as you're talking about this. They also have. This company also has another controller that's a Pro controller alternative for $20.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that one.
It is it just says, hi, Karis, Nintendo Switch controller, built-in gyro sensor and turbo functions, wireless Bluetooth gamer's choice for Nintendo Switch. It basically doesn't have the glowing buttons. It has a little bit of a redesigned D-pad. However, it only has one review right now, and it's a 1-star, and there's no reason why.
See, obviously, the
it could be
difference...
because of the firmware update, right?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, the differences between me and you guys is I'm getting obviously the English side of the search. So maybe these haven't really been as popular in England or haven't released over here yet.
Those are here on Amazon as well. The one you're holding.
Yeah.
Like Tim mentioned, $30 with a 10% off.
If you're filling some time, I'll have a quick search on Amazon.co.uk and see if I can find it here. But yeah. I mean, they do make. I hadn't heard of the company before until we got this controller come through. They have made some other Nintendo's accessories, as far as I've seen. They made some stuff for the NES Classic, some cases and things, from what I can see.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, this is on here for £30. Yeah, so that's I think that's a really good price. I really do. I think it's a really good price for what it is. I've also played Zelda with it, by the way. It works really well with Zelda. So yeah, I mean, it's got 4.5 stars over here. So based on 15 reviews, so I can't be too wrong.
Right.
But yeah, basically recommended. Just not for the D-pad.
Cool. So let me talk about this last controller that came out that came in the package from PowerA that doesn't release until later this month, and that is the wireless GameCube controller that on the front of the box blatantly says works with Smash Brothers Ultimate. These are available for pre-order right now on Amazon for the price of $49.99, and they come in several colors. There's also GameStop exclusive silver and gold colors that are coming out as well. And I have got to spend quite a bit of time with this, as well as we have a video up on our YouTube channel that has just gone gangbusters this week with this. But guys, I'm going to be honest with you. This controller super surprised me at how comfortable and how responsive and how amazing it has been. I mean, like comparing it, I have a traditional purple GameCube controller, and I compared it with that. Of course, there's some wear and tear over time and some degradation of the colors. This is a bright purple controller that is you're basically getting what you pay for. The question becomes, do you want a wireless GameCube style controller to play Smash with? If you do, and you're not you're not like one of those people who has to have a wired controller because you're competitive and you have input lag or whatever. I haven't noticed any input lag with it, but I don't play competitive Smash, so I don't know if that would be a thing or not. But all I know is it's comfortable. It fits great in the hand. It's very light. It does work on 2 AA batteries. It syncs directly with the Switch as quick as possible. I thought maybe it would bring up a GameCube icon, like controller icon, when it's synced. Nah, it brings up a Pro Controller icon. And from there, it functions exactly like you would expect it to. We tested it out on Super Mario Odyssey. It worked great, very responsive, very easy to use. We tested it out on Super Mario Brothers 3 so that I could test the D-pad on it and others, and it was also super responsive and great there as well. Gary, you look like you had a question.
Yeah, does this controller have gyro and stuff built into it?
It does not. It does have gyro. It does have motion control because I could flick it and get Mario to spin his hat around him. But it does not have amiibo functionality. It does not have HD Rumble. So there is a little bit of sacrifice there.
Also, you could actually use these wires as well, couldn't you? You could put them in and set a wired connection. So if you're somebody who's looking for an alternative to having the adapter and the original GameCube controller, then you can just shove the wire in and set them up as wired controllers on the Switch's controller settings as well. Actually,
I know there's no wire that comes with this.
Oh, isn't there? So
it is. It's not a rechargeable battery, so
no.
It just runs off 2 AA's. So there's no wire that comes with it. It is completely. It's completely wireless.
And I saw a lot. I saw a few comments on his video saying that, I was okay with this until it came to the battery. We're in 2018. Everything should be rechargeable. Blah 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 blah.
Xbox.
No. I would rather use AA batteries and have them last 30 to 40 hours versus rechargeable batteries that last for 10 hours.
Honestly, you're going to get a lot of life out of this. You're going to get a lot of life out of this. I will tell you that you need to have, and I don't know why you wouldn't have this, but you need to have your Switch updated to version 6.0.0 to be able to use these because of Bluetooth.
If you're going to go online, you have to have version 6 anyway.
Yeah. Jesse, just to confirm what you just said, this ad on Amazon for this says that 2 AA batteries will give you 30 hours of gameplay.
Right. I remember the original, the Wavebird. I could get 30 to 40 hours per set of batteries easily.
Yeah. And so for me, like just personally, it comes down to, do I want to carry a bunch of wired controllers where the wires may get all tangled up or get pulled and then them not work, and an adapter, that's an additional wire and all that, or do I want to just carry my Switch and a controller? And for me, I think I just want to carry a Switch and controller. And so I'm happy to recommend these. I think both it and the enhanced wireless controller are fantastic pieces of accessory and tech for the Switch. You can pre-order this right now. You can get a purple one, you can get a black one, or Jesse, you can get a Wavebird colored one.
I know. So I let my son pick the color because he's the one who's going to be using it more than anyone, because he's the one who plays Smash. He wanted the purple. And I'm like, I tried to talk him out of it. I'm like that silver one looks nice, but you're gonna need to pre-order the GameCube gray. You're gonna need the Wavebird gray. I'm thinking I might get one for myself. If I have.
Now all we need is for Nintendo to announce that more GameCube games are coming to the Switch, and we're ready to go. Right? I'm gonna be playing Smash pretty exclusively with this. I think. I mean, I wanted to play with the Pro Controller anyway, but I really like the idea of being able to tote this around.
I know my son will, because he still uses a GameCube shaped controller that plugs into the back of a Wii remote to play the Wii U game.
Now, can I ask this? And I'm not clear on this, and I wanted to be more clear on it. The GameCube adapter for the Switch and the wired GameCube controllers, they don't work on every game, correct?
From my understanding, I thought they acted as a normal Pro Controller, but you've only got one shoulder button. You haven't got a minus.
Well, see, in these, both your shoulder buttons work, your minus works, everything works. So it functions just as a Pro Controller in a GameCube controller shell.
When I get back from vacation this weekend, I'll be able to test some things out.
Very cool. It is worth noting, I think, that the gray shoulder buttons are not analog. As Gary has already said, the Switch is not set up for analog input. They do have quite a bit of travel before they click, which is when the character actually does what you need them to do there. And they are labeled ZL and ZR. The purple buttons at the top are labeled L and R, which is a little bit of change from the actual GameCube controller, but it doesn't take long to get used to.
This is quite surprising about the GameCube controller still being the Smash controller, is that is no longer a thing with the shoulder buttons, so it's quite kind of surprising that people still like them for competitive play, even though you've got the extra travel. It's kind of strange. Right.
I think it all comes down to the feeling in the hand, right?
Yeah, I think it does, yeah. Can I ask you a question about your controller,
Sure.
which you might have not tested, but I have tested it with this Hyperus controller. When traveling with the Switch and you take the Pro Controller with you, I have this thing where I'll get my Switch out the bag and it'll be half dead because any button input on the Pro Controller keeps waking the Switch up. Have you tried that with the wireless GameCube controller at all?
I have not. I have not traveled with it yet because I haven't gone anywhere other than my office and my house since I got it. But
have you tried
I will try that out.
Have you tried just turning the console on with it?
Yeah. And typically when I turn on the Switch, I press the home button on whatever controller I'm using. Yeah. So that's what I've done exclusively. So let me try that, and I'll tweet out about it or something this week.
Okay, because I've tried it with the Hyperus one. It doesn't wake the Switch up, which is both a pro and a con for the same reasons I've just said. If you're traveling, it's not going to wake your Switch up. You're not going to have a dead battery. However, you can't just sit there and turn the console on. You have to turn the console on first before the controller will register.
Yeah.
So I think that is a valid point to sort of make clear, because if you buy the controller and you're there hammering the home button, it's not going to work.
Right. Well, guys, that's all of what we've been playing. Let's move very quickly and very briefly into our community spotlight. Thank you, Jesse. We're going to highlight a few of your tweets and your questions to round out the show here. Nicholas Metzger at Nicholas Metzger on Twitter, one of our Extra Life team guys, actually asked us this: put your Nintendo Jedi skills to work. What are the 5 new Smash characters coming? At Neo Prime 33, could you put this in the logs so we can see who was the closest? So he's not only is he asking us for something, he's giving Tim an assignment as well.
Huh.
I have a list, and I'm going to read. Somebody asked me about a top 5 list for Smash earlier, and I'm just going to read mine here. And I don't know that this will be true, but this is what I'm going to guess. All right? We'll see how close I get. Waluigi, number 1. Number 1, Waluigi, number 1.
No, assist.
Number 2, Chorus Kids. Number 3, Ninjara. Number 4, and I don't even know why I pulled this one out of my Nintendo filled brain as I was wandering around with my wife buying groceries today. What is one, let me just say this. What is one series that we've only seen one character from?
Chibi Robo?
No. No, F-Zero needs more representation. Yeah. I'm going to go Pico from F-Zero. Because Samurai Goro's already an assist trophy, and that doctor guy, nobody even cares about him. His car sucked.
We could have James McCloud from F-Zero. That would cause some confusion.
Yeah, no, I want Pico. Pico's really cool. And wasn't his backstory that he was an assassin?
Yeah, the backstories in F-Zero are frightening.
It is. I don't care. I call it. I'm calling it now. It's canon. And then number 5, Arthur from Ghosts and Goblins.
Oh, I like that one.
I want it. Make it happen, Nintendo.
Okay, so mine are the Tetraminos. Tetris blocks.
No. I can't have Waluigi. You can't have Tetraminos. No, I think it's a cool idea, actually.
It's so hard to think of impactful characters. I think Rayman's got a chance.
Okay.
I do not think Goku. I do not think Banjo-Kazooie. I actually think that Minecraft Steve has got a better chance than Banjo-Kazooie.
I completely agree with you.
And
way more relevant.
And I'm so tempted to say maybe one of the champions from Zelda or another Fire Emblem blue head sword fighter. Which I'm fine. Just for the record, by the way, I'm completely fine with that. I think that Fire Emblem characters get way too much hate in the Smash series, but Fire Emblem's a series that has 1,000 characters. So
I'll agree with you if it's anybody but a sword character. Give us an axe. Give us another magician. Give us somebody different.
Okay, but what if it's a sword fighter who also rides a wyvern, so they, keep popping on a dragon every once in a while? Would that be fine?
No.
Well,
Camilla.
Camilla.
I want spears and axes. Come on, man.
Yeah. It's a tough question because I would have said Chibi Robo. I would have thought they'd have shoved him in as a bit of a joke character, but
that's fine. Point.
Yeah, or Solaire of Astora off Dark Souls. With the greatest taunt of all time. Praising the sun.
Praise the sun,
boys. So it's a really tough question now because we're at that point where Smash Bros has almost, I know that somebody's going to correct me and come up with a list of 1,000 other characters that could be on here, but it's getting to that point where it is getting thin on legendary characters, which is the key thing, legendary characters. And I think that Bomberman being an assist trophy is a massive missed opportunity because I think he would have been one of the very best, greatest fighters that could have ever been.
Yes.
So it's so tough, but my bets are on Tetraminos.
Jesse, you got any guesses?
I don't have 5, but I'm going to lean on my joke answers that I've said in the past, and I do have an additional one. So I'm going to start with Patricia Wagon. Yeah. What else did I say? The track and field guy.
Yes.
Okay. Then remember I said that just because that one arms guy won't be a character doesn't mean we can't have other arms representation.
Right.
Twintel. That was the waifu.
Yeah, as soon as you said that earlier, I was thinking Twintel because everybody loves a waifu.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got for now. If I think of something else after Tim, I'll chime in.
All right, Tim.
All right.
Your time
All
to
right.
shine.
All right. So one, first one is Leon Kennedy and or Chris Redfield from the RE series.
That is a good call.
Especially since we're going to be getting the re-releases coming up next year, I thought that would be a good opportunity for one of those 5 to be one of those. I did put, probably because my heart hopes to see this, is the Banjo-Kazooie. I really want to see this, but that's just probably more of a bonus. But also the next one is Assassin's Creed character, Desmond or Altera. Or if it is Desmond, it could be any one of those characters that he was in the Assassin's Creed games. Or it could just be Altair, since he was the original. The next one is, I'm probably going to butcher this name for this character, but it's the Shenmue character, Ryo Hazuki.
Okay.
Then the fourth one is Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
Oh, wow.
Those are good ones.
Yes.
And then my fifth one is Jonah Dark from Perfect Dark.
Not gonna happen, man. Not gonna happen.
I'm gonna add an honorable mention, and you can't stop me because it's my honorable mention character, Crash Bandicoots.
Crash, yeah.
That's more likely going to happen than Pico from F-Zero.
See, like I say, it's tough with this because I mean, Scorpion and Sub-Zero can completely see them, and to be honest, nobody's mentioned Hayachi, which is another character that I could see.
Oh,
but
yeah.
like such as Tim setting himself up for disappointment with Joanna Dark. Not really a legacy character. Had one game, not massive hit on the N64, and then a really bad Xbox 360 game, and also a Game Boy game, which a lot of people might not have known about. But characters, some characters are only. I mean, if Bomberman's not in, that's the point where I'm like, well, a lot of other characters just aren't going to get in.
Right.
Hey, let me ask you guys this: what do you think the possibility of Donkey Kong Jr. is?
No.
0.
But I'm just thinking, like, Nintendo goes and pulls that back catalog, right? And they pull out somebody like Piranha Plant.
Yeah,
Why not Donkey Kong Jr.?
Isn't the thing about Donkey Kong Jr. that it's actually Donkey Kong now? Wasn't that one of the things?
Yeah.
It's the new Donkey Kong that we know as Donkey Kong with the tie.
Or maybe there's like Donkey Kong, or you add in Cranky Kong, or you add in another Kong, right?
I mean, this is another thing that is going to upset people, but the Banjo-Kazooie thing as well. Banjo-Kazooie had one hit game, a sequel which was still popular, and then trash on the Xbox. This is why I don't think we've got a hope for Banjo-Kazooie, because it's not a legacy character still. Really not a legacy character. And it's disappointing because he could have been a legacy character, but I think Xbox kind of put the nail in the coffin with nuts and bolts. So, what do you guys honestly, as a percentage, what percentage would you give the possibility of Banjo-Kazooie being in this game? Because for me, it's 10%.
Like 25.
I think I'd lean closer to 10.
Yeah.
It's not 0, but it's not that high either. Okay, I thought of 2 more. I remember Rabbid Peach is a spirit. So the Rabbids are fair game. I'm not saying Rabbid, but I want Rabbid Mario.
I like it. I want Rabbid Kong.
I don't want Rabbid Kong.
You know what would be great is if Rabid Kong was a boss in the.
Okay, I'd say if we go there, maybe Rabid Cranky.
Oh,
I like it. Yeah.
Okay,
I think a rabbit of any kind would be an excellent DLC.
Okay, then you want to go Legacy? It would be they'd have to go require a license for this one, but it is a Nintendo game. It is a Miyamoto game. Popeye.
Here it comes. I knew it.
What was that? I missed that then.
Popeye.
Oh, Popeye. Or Mike Tyson.
No. No one
They
cares
can
about
be
him
Echo
anymore.
Fighters with each other.
In all his pixel glory, Mike Tyson.
Yeah, they could be each other's Echo Fighters.
Yeah, it's such a strange one. Knowing that there's 5 fighters and they're not Echoes is a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that they've kind of worked themselves into a corner in some of those, because I got to thinking about that as you said that. Could they include another Punch-Out character? Yeah, they could, but how are they really going to differentiate him between Little Mac? Well, right?
Hippo is pretty much the one that's be easiest to differentiate.
King Hippo would be great. But I was thinking like Ball Bull would be great.
Yeah, I can see him too.
But I have to agree though that somebody, I forget who it was earlier, mentioned Rayman.
Yeah,
I think Rayman has a much higher percentage chance of being in this DLC.
I think Rayman and Steve are like probably the two that have of everything here that has the most chance. Maybe Arthur is a third.
I know some people may not be excited about that possibility, but I would definitely play as Steve. I think that would be fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those weird things because Nintendo has 1,000,001 characters still in their backup. I mean, they got Abraham Lincoln. That could happen.
Voiced by Will Wheaton.
But these other characters which are they've been in more games and they've done more than some of the characters like Banjo-Kazooie, which is Banjo is my reference of like the fan one that they want in. But even Jabunyan from Yokai Watch has been in more games, probably more successful than Banjo-Kazooie. So doesn't that mean that that's maybe a higher possibility? I mean, we've got a 4th Yokai Watch coming out.
If they would throw in either Professor Layton, Phoenix Wright, or Jabunyan, yep, come on with it.
Yeah, I think it's
it's any series game right now for this DLC. Actually, I think.
Yeah. If it was on a Nintendo system, it's good.
I mean, we've even got like the guys from Streets of Rage or Golden Axe as well.
Yeah, oh gosh,
Bubsy the Bobcat.
Well, I mean, we've seen that Sega is willing to dip into that back catalog with Akira, right?
I saw Tim's face when I said Bubsy then. It was like, what is this guy doing on his podcast again? You ruined the Nintendo dads.
No, Bubsy the Bobcat.
No,
we can't do it. Let's move on to a new question. At Shellshock Prime ask us this. How many of you guys watched a Piranha Plant reveal without laughing the first time around? Also, I want to see Marty rock out to Ken's theme.
Well, I didn't laugh, but of course I was also spoiled because I didn't actually see the actual show until like 8 o'clock at night. But so I saw the announcements and I saw my son showed me a few reaction videos from people he follows. So yeah, I saw that coming. So that was kind of cheating. It's not fair.
I didn't laugh, but I was so excited. I think I peed a little.
Oh my.
I didn't laugh because I was trying to figure out if it was serious or not.
My initial reaction as I was watching with my son at the time was both of us turned to each other and said, "What?"
I just love it. I love it because this is exactly what I was on about with the speculation of characters. We could speculate and say Goku and Shrek and all these crazy characters, and they shove a Piranha Plant in there. Just amazing.
Just to troll. I'm convinced.
It doesn't matter.
I'm convinced it is just a troll.
That means he's 3 steps higher than Goku and Banjo and everything like that. He's higher than them in the ranking for Smash Brothers.
Yes, it does.
They are never going to get a closer number to 1 than a Piranha Plant.
That's right. That's right. Guys, we're going to finish up the show this week. We've got several topics over on our Discord, and if you've commented on our Discord, understand we're not forgetting about you. It's just that some of those will require a lot more discussion than we have time for tonight. But we're going to go ahead and wrap up the show. By the time that you hear this show next week, episode 204 will be part of Extra Life. And some of our crew will already have participated in their Extra Life festivities for the year. Guys, be sure you go over and donate to Nick and his group as they're doing it tomorrow, and others who are doing it this weekend as well. And check back on YouTube on the November 8th and 9th for our stream as well. As we close out the show, we want to say huge thanks to our Patreon producers, Dave Ernsberger and Timothy Off. You can head over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads to be like them and support us. They're the cool guys, not us. Our supporters are the real cool people. You can follow us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere at Nintendo Dads. You can email us at nintendodads@gmail.com. You can go check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/Nintendo Dads. Call in and leave a voicemail at 929-25-NDADS. That's 929-256-3237. And if you want to buy some sweet Nintendo Dads merchandise, go head on over to tiny.cc/Nintendo Dads store, all lowercase, and get yourself one of those sweet new Valtendo shirts, a phone case, a pillow, a blanket. You know what? We're even going to throw an Uncle Jesse plush up there here soon for you to buy and snuggle with. Big thanks to the music throughout the show. And thanks to Adam Leonard and Carter Johnson for all the cool art that they have contributed to us over the years. Guys, thanks for checking out episode 203. Gary, Tim, Jesse, thanks for joining us tonight. And for all of these guys, plus me, Mark, hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.